Every Friday from 11 to 2, it's the best. The Butcher Shop, always a Memphis tradition. Call 901-757-4244, 901-757-4244 for more information, or just stop in at 107 South Germantown Parkway in Cordova.
Welcome to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and C.J. Hertz on AM 560, 96.1 FM, and 87.7 FM. This hour is brought to you by Mid-South Power Distributors. All things diesel for over 26 years. Now, here are your hosts, Peter and C.J.
Boy, oh boy, so many questions right out of the gate. Good morning, everybody. Welcome in on a Tuesday. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Peter and CJ. I am the titular Peter, and he is, of course, the titular CJ.
Hey, everybody.
CJ just informed me that he finds carrots to be tangy.
It's new.
He says that right, literally right as we're about to go on the air. And Zach, who we'll introduce momentarily, is about to turn on the microphone, so I don't even have time to digest it and say something back to him. So I'm doing it on the air now. Tangy. Zach, you're you know what? Let me introduce you real fast. Here's a Meatless Mamba, No Chalk, Jock, etc. Ladies and gentlemen, Zach Boyd. Hi, Zach.
What's going on, guys?
Great to see you. Zach, you're an expert on vegetables.
Okay.
Would you ever describe carrots as tangy, having a tang?
No.
Yeah, me neither.
Neither would I before like 2 weeks ago. I don't know what has happened. My taste buds taste carrots, especially cooked carrots. Raw carrots, not so much. But cooked carrots, all I taste is a tang to them. And I don't know why.
Unless you're like cooking them in some type of broth or some type of.
If you're cooking them in a tangy barbecue sauce or something,
no,
sure, that would
it's
give
beef
you a tang.
stew
or
and
in tang itself. If you're
roasted chicken.
Is it just the raw carrots that you're eating? Or
no.
is it...
Like raw carrots taste like carrots. That's
okay.
fine. But when they are cooked with the meat and the potatoes and the onions, they come out like tangy to me for some reason.
Then that's probably the reason, because you're cooking them with other items. Now, if you had the carrots by itself, there wouldn't be a tang to it or some type of taste, because it just tastes like a carrot.
I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try cooking just some carrots by themselves and see if they still taste tangy. But no, like I made a roasted chicken this weekend, did it up real nice, threw some potatoes and some carrots in there with the bird, did a nice little brine for the chicken as well, a little quick brine. Everything came out delightful, tasty, except for the carrots, which I thought were really tangy. My wife, on the other hand, was like, no, it tastes like carrots. What's wrong with you? I don't know. Is there like a scientific reason why at 32 my taste buds decide the cooked carrots are tangy?
I don't even understand what you mean by tangy. Like
tangy. Like tang. Whatever you think tang is, that's what I'm tasting when I eat these carrots.
No, I think something's wrong with you.
Yes, I'm trying to figure it out.
I mean, this is probably a medical thing, honestly.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's probably serious. I would go, if I were you, I'd go to the doctor.
Dr. Sex, I'm not going. Dr. Sex, let me know what's going on.
Somebody, yeah. Do you mean like it's got some heat to it, like a little? Like
no,
a little
not spicy.
Sour, like a
almost sour, tangy sour.
Well, you buy different carrots.
It doesn't matter the carrots I buy. I've bought different
sources of carrots.
Yes.
Go to the farmer's market and get some like just straight up out of the ground carrots.
All right, I went to Sprouts and got the straight up out of the ground organic carrots. I got the carrots in the bag, little baby carrots. They both
go to
when
the
they
farmer's
cook,
market, get them. I mean,
they're tangy. Like borderline sour, like
maybe what you're cooking it in. I don't know.
My wife eats it and is like, "No, what are you talking about? Yeah. They taste like carrots are supposed to taste. What is wrong with you?"
Yeah,
and I don't know, sweetheart. What is wrong with me?
Yeah,
I'm concerned.
Yeah, I would be too. I think this is probably pretty serious, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think he's probably got, a major medical issue. What are you talking about? You can't start.
This is new to me too, Peter.
We can't chat before the show and get everything ready to go, and then you just hit me with that right as we're about to go. That is not fair. You cannot do that. What is wrong with you, man?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Good Lord. Tangy carrots, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, if the no chalk jock over here, the meatless Mamba, if he's telling you that there's no tang in the carrots, he would know. He's had carrots every which way but to Sunday. I mean, he's had carrots roasted. He's had carrots cooked. He's had carrots boiled. He's had carrots raw. He's had probably dessert carrots with the little candied carrots. Like he's had all kinds of different carrots, and he's telling you there's no tang.
I agree. There shouldn't be any tang or sourness to carrots. I'm just telling you, when I eat cooked carrots now, that is what I taste.
67129 on the First Bank text line if you want to chat with CJ and tell him why he's crazy.
Yes. Tell me what's wrong, because carrots shouldn't be tangy. They shouldn't. Tell me what's wrong with myself so I know and I can get it fixed.
That would be great. Would appreciate that. 67129 if you have not joined the text team yet. What do they got to do, Zach?
You have to text 67129.
Wait, no.
Or if you're new to the program.
Oh, there we go.
You just text 56 join to 67129.
The carrot thing got everybody thrown off.
Yeah.
Let's regroup, fellas.
So say that just one more time. Let's clarify that just one more time. I feel like we might not have gotten that fully clear.
Okay. So if you're new to the program and if you want to text us, you have to text 56 join at 67129. You just do it one time.
Okay, one time.
And you're good to go. But you must do it.
Yes. Once you do it once, then your phone number is locked into our system, and then you can just save it as a contact and make it easier on yourself. You can also dial up at 360-8255 if you want to talk to CJ about his problematic taste buds. That
Please
would
do.
be excellent.
It would.
Does anything else taste weird to you? Is it just carrots, or have you noticed any other changing of flavors? Because that could be.
No.
Do you think smell different?
I don't have a sense of smell
At all?
at all. It's got to be right up on my face for me to get a good whiff of it.
Anosmia? Is that what they call that?
I don't know. But yeah, my sense of smell is super weak.
Anosmia. That's
okay.
Correct. Okay, so you got a little anosmia working. Okay. Maybe that's part of it. That's probably. I'm going to guess that's related to it.
Okay.
Because your sense of smell is connected, taste wise, to your taste buds. Do you not taste things very much?
No, I taste things.
You feel like you don't taste them as much? Do you feel like they're sort of muted flavors?
I got to really lay on the seasoning. Drives my wife wild.
Yep.
I've had to adjust how
the story is starting to come together.
Okay,
now.
here we go.
The story is starting to come together now. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Yeah. This makes sense. You've got a sinus problem.
Oh, okay. Cool.
You got some significant blockage or something, or
cool.
maybe you have a head injury.
I've definitely got some of those.
So that's part of it too. But something is clearly blocking your sense of smell, and then by extension your sense of taste is a problem. So if you want to just check into that, and get that taken care of, then everything will taste great.
Don't. I'll be fine. I'll eat my tangy carrots.
I don't think you want to.
Well, I'll stop. I'll stop eating carrots. Be what has happened.
Today we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about a little bit of the other thing as well. We have many of those sorts of topics on display. For example, yesterday I had a chance to sit down with Zach Kleiman, the Grizzlies executive vice president of basketball operations for a little while. We had a little sit down session, I would say, and I'll give you some thoughts about what went down.
Okay.
As he talked for the first time officially since media day, the opening day of training camp. That was the first time that he actually talked since then, and obviously there's been quite a few things that have happened between now and then, and we got a chance to go over many of those, and so I'll give you some impressions of that as the Grizzlies are getting set for what is an enormous game, by far and away the biggest game of the year, coming up tomorrow night down at the Forum against the Blazers. An opportunity to solidify the 8th playoff spot with a victory, or with a loss, it's going to put them in tough shape, because the schedule does not get any easier. A lot of road games after the All-Star break, and so you're going to really hit the ground running once you get through the break. That Portland game is going to be the last game for the Grizzlies for 8 days, because you have the All-Star break and then you have a little bit of time afterwards. So they'll begin the post-All-Star session in Sacramento. Then the next night playing the Lakers in L.A. Then sticking around L.A. all weekend. Really, boy, have fun there. What a fun weekend that is to be able to hang out in L.A. all weekend long. And then Monday night they'll be February 24th, they'll be at the same stadium, but they'll play the Clippers, and then at Houston. So really tough road trip there, right out of the gate after All-Star break. Then back home to play the Kings and the Lakers again. Then back on the road for 3 more. So you can see the importance of getting this one now. When you're playing pretty well, you're 27, 26. You've really put together a tremendous run of late. This is when you want to go ahead and lock it in. This is when you want to go ahead and take care of business. So it's a huge game for that situation. And I hope the fans. I hope it's a full house and a big. It's sometimes the regular season in the NBA. It's been a while. It's been a while around here since we had a fairly later in the season, big time, meaningful playoff type game. It's been a minute. So I want to see if the fans are going to respond, if there's going to be a big crowd, if it's going to be loud and intense, because it should be.
This is the first of 3 matchups here with the Grizzlies and the Trailblazers. The rest of the season, the other 2 are on the road. So you're playing well right now. You're at home with a team who you're fighting with for a spot in the playoff. Yeah, you're right. You got to get this one, and it should be a very passionate, intense, packed crowd at FedEx Forum.
I hope so. We shall see. But I'll give you my thoughts and give you some idea of what Zach Kleiman had to say about John Morant, about the Justice Winslow trade, about the other trades that the Grizzlies have made, about the other moves, Josh Jackson. There's lots that he went through. So we'll talk about all of that. It was a nice chance, good session, and very confident. Zach Kleiman, same personality wise, he's same as ever. But yeah, rightly so. Feeling quite good about what's happening down at FedEx Forum. For the Tigers, we'll discuss what they face from here Thursday night. Are they all must win at this point?
Yes,
it's the all.
Yep.
I think at this point you really have to just kind of it's all got to be there. We'll talk about their road ahead. Also, college basketball, some good ones last night, including a win for Duke. Duke continues to win, and I don't. Here's the thing about college basketball this year: Duke beats Florida State, 2 top 10 teams going at it. Duke wins, and yet I feel no more confident about Duke's ability to win in March than I did prior to that game. I feel like they could absolutely. They could make Final Four. They could win national championship, or they could be eliminated by, Mercer again in the first round. And I wouldn't be shocked by either outcome at this point. They don't give off a great vibe of indestructibility or confidence, but to their credit, they kind of keep winning.
I know for me, teams who I feel like, you don't make it to the second weekend of the tournament, something is wrong. That would be a huge upset. For me, Baylor, Gonzaga, and I'm beginning to lean towards like a Dayton as well. My question is for you: do you feel that way about anybody, or is this thing just completely wide open for you?
I mean, I feel, I feel confident about. I'm probably more confident about Gonzaga than anybody, I guess. Okay. But like even last night, like Baylor, goes to Texas and it's a ugly game. They win 52-45, but I mean 52-45. Yikes. But nonetheless, they're 22-1. They're undefeated in the conference. They're playing really well. So I have confidence to an extent in them, but it's a game like you saw last night where that offense can kind of disappear. That happens in next month. You may be out. You score 52 in a tournament game, you're probably catching somebody who's gonna put 60 or more on you. So that is a little bit worrisome. But I think in terms of the confidence, I think probably Gonzaga. I think this is such a. It's going to be very matchup dependent, and it's going to be momentum based. There's a lot of intangibles and just timing and all that's going to go into it because it is so wild. It's so spread out. It's tough. Now, as far as Texas goes, that Texas drops to 4-7 in the Big 12, 14-10 overall, and Shaka Smart. It has not worked. Just has not really ever gotten off the ground for Shaka Smart as far as I can tell. He had the VCU teams that were had the Havoc system where he just would press a lot, would be very frenetic with the energy and the pacing and all that stuff, and has not been able to transform that to Texas. Now, is that I feel like at this point, if it doesn't happen in the next month, if they don't find a way to make a quick run and get themselves into the tournament, then that's got to be it for Shaka Smart.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a Shaka Smart problem, or is that just the way that things are in Texas right now? You'll notice that they have not had a tremendous amount of success on the football field or the basketball court. And, a lot of hyped coaches, Tom Herman on the football side, same kind of thing, where it just has not really – it's threatened to happen. It looks like it might have, then it hasn't happened for him, really. And it certainly hasn't happened for Shaka Smart. Is that a Texas thing?
No, it's a Shaka thing. And it's with all the money that is there in Texas, with all of the top-notch recruits that are in Texas, for me, it's always going to be a coach thing, be it Tom Herman or Shaka Smart. It is easier to play that Havoc style, like you brought up with Shaka and VCU, when you're playing against teams who you've got more talent than, or where it is a certain level of talent. The better everybody gets, the harder it is for you to play that style of basketball. And so going from the conference VCU was in to the Big 12 is a different type of talent. You can't play necessarily that way. And other teams in Texas are having success. Like, look at what Baylor is doing right now. Think about what Texas Tech was able to do last year and what they are continuing to build on from last year and right now. It is clear that talent is in Texas because we've got big programs in that state doing pretty well for themselves. This is Shaka Smart. I don't know if he's not using the talent the right way, going out and getting the talent that is necessary, or if he's just stuck in what he was able to do to have success at VCU and unwilling to adapt his scheme. But this is very clearly, to me, a Shaka Smart thing. And, hey, some people coach better with the non-Power 5 schools. Some of them, that is a better fit for them, being the hunter as opposed to the hunted, being the team with no expectations versus a team with some expectations or all of the expectations. Some coaches can coach that up better, and I think Shaka Smart falls into that category.
Yeah, I do think some coaches definitely like to be the lesser, they need to have that underdog mentality or something like that. It's hard for them to do well with the resources. It's a different kind of feel when you have resources. That's a weird thing. I agree with that, but I also think systematically you have to look and be comfortable with your you can't just stick to the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have to diversify what you do, particularly as you get more resources. It's I'm not going to say that you can't play a gimmicky system at a big school. Obviously, Jim Boeheim has done matchup zones, that kind of thing for years at Syracuse, but he's also now, he's recruited to that system. It's been there for long enough where he's been able to do that. But if you look at other coaches that have tried to take, more gimmicky type things, it doesn't always work.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's definitely some growing pains when you do it. And I don't know that Shaka is committed to it. I think he's kind of vacillated. He's going back and forth a little bit. I don't think he's committed to it. So it's been weird though, because I thought it was going to work out pretty well.
Yeah.
And I would say this again, the same thing that you go back to Arkansas hiring Stan Heath from Kent State back in the day. You cannot hire a coach based on a March run.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care how cool the March run is. I don't care what's going on. I don't care what the situation is. I don't care what if that's the thing. If that coach all of a sudden gets on your radar solely because the run that coach started to make in the tournament, you cannot hire that person. It has got to be about a lot more than that. And there has to be a fit. There has to be all sorts of things that go into it. And I mean, look, for example, not to say that Tulane hired Ron Hunter solely because of what happened at Georgia State and falling off the chair and his son and all that. But that was obviously part of the situation. And I thought it was going to work out great. I thought he was going to be good. Guess what? 10-13, last in the conference by 2 games. It has not worked.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there has to be more, more to it than that.
But Shaka is different. Shaka had several tournament runs.
Yeah, but it's still it's the strength of that, and the strength of what he was able to do in those moments. That was what pushed him over the top. That's what pushed him up ahead of other folks. Yeah, he had more than one, but it's still problematic.
He was running the conference he was in. I think that played a part in it. Also, I don't think Shaka is simply one or two tournament runs with VCU. You look at the totality of what Shaka was able to do, over 700 win percentage in both regular season and regular season out of conference and conference games and conference games. So I think that was enough to in the A-10 to get Shaka's noticed a bit. And at Texas, I don't know what Texas basketball should be. I think it should. I'm with you. It should be better than this. And in his 4 years, have they gotten out of the first round since he's been there?
No.
I don't think so. And they've got, for all of its glory, there's an NIT championship, whatever that means. It's got to be more than this at Texas, I would believe. And that's why I'm agreeing with you that if he doesn't get this thing figured out this year, you go ahead and move on, because the last coach you had at Texas had some success. Like Rick Barnes was, am I correct? Rick Barnes was the last coach at Texas. He had a Final Four run, a couple of Elite Eights. He had Kevin Durant on the team. He was able to go out there and recruit. So Texas,
Aldridge,
Texas can go out there and get players and be really good. Shaka just isn't that, and it's been we've had 4 or 5 years to see what Shaka Smart is at Texas, and it's not good enough. I don't believe.
No, and the thing is that there has to be a fit with the coach and the team, the culture, the whole thing. Like, and clearly Shaka's not that for whatever reason. And it may be that there's another team, another situation that fits him great, and he jumps right back in the mix. I think that's entirely possible. I don't think he's a bad coach or anything, but it is fit based, man, and definitely fit based. And it's got to be the right one. We'll come back and we will talk about what happened yesterday. The sit down with Zach Kleiman, some thoughts, some impressions about what he had to say, and a very interesting discussion and where things stand for the Grizzlies going into a huge game with the Blazers tomorrow night. All that when we return. Peter and CJ with you. Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7.
I'm Howard Robertson.
And I'm Larry Robinson.
Telling you R&R on sports.
We've been on Sirius XM and stations across America.
We're coming to Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Every Saturday morning, 9 a.m., beginning Saturday, February 8th.
It's R&R on sports.
Don't you miss us.
I'm thinking wine. Sweetgrass has such a great wine selection.
I'll just have water.
Water? We didn't drive. Look at the great prices on Sweetgrass's wine list.
Nope, just water for me.
You okay?
I'm great, never better.
But you're drinking water. Wait a second. You always said that if you...
That's right.
You wouldn't...
That's right.
So you're saying you're...
That's right.
This is fantastic. I have a designated driver to Sweetgrass for months.
That's your takeaway from this news?
I mean, the baby thing is great, but a designated driver to Sweetgrass for months.
The folks at Homer Skelton Hyundai want to say thank you. Thank you, Memphis, for another spectacular year. They set records, but I can understand why. You think about the product. Where else do you get a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty? That's what you get on every new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai. Oh, and thank you again for the 11th straight year, the #1 certified pre-owned car dealership in all of Memphis. It starts with that product, but then it goes to the shopper assurance. Where else do you go where you get transparent pricing, flexible test drive, take the car for a couple of days if you want, streamlined buying process? You're not going to be there all day, in and out. And then, and I have not seen this anywhere else, the 3-day worry-free exchange. You buy a new car, if you've got any buyer's remorse, you've got 3 days to change your mind. Just get on Lamar, take it into Mississippi, the first exit's Craft Road, turn left, and go see Chris True and all the gang at Homer Skelton Hyundai.
The Can-Am Spring Fever event is here and ready to take you on the ultimate off-road ride and get you some serious savings. Can-Am is built for ripping through trails, crawling through mud, cruising over dunes, getting the job done. Get it done for less. Farmers and ranchers can save up to $1,500 on select 2020 Defender models, or even on select 2019 models, save up to $2,500 during the Spring Fever event. Get yourself a new Can-Am off-road vehicle at a great price. Visit us today, Olive Branch Motorsports, 5656 Goodman Road, or online at obmotorcycleatv.com.
Bria's fashion boutique is the worst. First, they asked me if I needed help finding anything. Just because I'm gorgeous doesn't mean I need help.
No matter how hard you work for your small business, online reviewers will find something to complain about.
Then they tell me they're having a sale. Oh, so you're assuming I'm poor. Cool.
And while Progressive can't save you from these trolls, we can help you save money on commercial, auto, and business insurance.
Also, they tried to give me the friends and family discount. I'm not your friend, so...
Get a quote online today at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliated and third-party insurers.
Get on your feet! And let's make some noise!
The Rebels play here.
Pass to Tyree, pulls for a three. Good! What a bucket! A three in transition. Dunked by Buffin. Oh, my goodness! Yes! Schuler fires a three. Good! DeMarte Schuler with a dagger!
Catch the action all season long on your exclusive home for the Rebels.
Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7 FM.
Got something you want to get off your chest?
You better have a backup plan.
Want to join the conversation?
Someone needs to tell him he has to grow up.
Join us on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255 or the First Bank text line at 67129. Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and C.J. Hurt. This hour is brought to you by Mid-South Power Distributors. Here once again are Peter and C.J.
Little time to think things over. I better read between the lines.
Oh, we're starting Soft Rock Tuesday off. You know, Soft Rock Tuesday is Zach's thing. I'm so proud of Zach because when he first arrived here, he didn't know soft rock like this. He didn't know it. Now he's bathing in it. Now he's becoming one with the soft rock.
I wasn't aware of the genre, but I knew some of the songs. The genre of the songs that part I didn't know, but I knew the songs.
But see, I'm saying you have so often on our theme days, Zach, you were just sometimes you'll get something a little messed up, or maybe play something that's not quite right, or somehow get the theme of it a little, just the rhythm of it a little bit off, or the feel of it. But not soft rock. But not soft rock
completely
Tuesday.
Different countries.
That's right. But not soft rock Tuesday.
No.
Not soft rock Tuesday. You were right down the barrel of soft rock Tuesday. I mean, he's right on point.
I appreciate that.
We appreciate you on Tuesday.
Yeah. It's just right down Main Street, baby. That's what it's all about.
Before we get into climbing notes,
okay.
I went back because you mentioned Shaka Smart and his time in Texas, and like the talent that he has brought in, but he couldn't do nothing about it. So far in his tenure at Texas, he only has 4 players that are in the NBA right now. That's Jackson Hayes, Mo Bamba, Isaiah Taylor, and Miles Turner.
That is hard. You bring this up all the time, Peter. Like, it is hard to be a good college basketball team with little or no NBA talent on the roster.
Just ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
And you got to get that talent, and you got to make it work. And he has not, thus far at least, not done that. And I don't know how much longer he's going to have a chance to do that. Now, as we mentioned yesterday, Zach Kleiman had his first comments. It was first time he's talked to media folks. He sat down with I guess what I would term a select group of media that cover the Grizzlies on a regular basis for the print outlets and that kind of stuff. So some of us from here, from the Athletic, Omari was there too, from the Memphian, Jeff Calkins and Chris Harrington, from the CA, Mark Giannotto, our buddy Evan Barnes, of course, was there too, and Teresa Walker, the Hall of Famer from AP.
That sounds like a party right there.
When she walked in, I stood up. I gave her my chair. I said, Hall of Famers, I do not know. You're a Hall of Famer. That's how this works. And Mike Wallace from Grind City Media in the house. So it was a chance to sit down for a little more of a detailed discussion. And what I will say is a few just kind of top level notes from the discussion. First of all, they're not at all. I'm not gonna say they're not like concerned about the Justice Winslow injury, but they're not concerned about it from a long-term perspective. Kleiman was very upfront about thinking that this was a separate injury from anything else that he's suffered in his career. He's missed a decent amount of time. I mean, he's played 68, 66 games the 2 years prior to this, but he's only played 11 games this year. He played 18, 3 years ago. So that's when you start to get a little bit worried. But those are all separate injuries. He had a torn labrum. He had a knee injury, the back thing now. Not all connected. It's not like he's had one knee injury that's kept recurring. That would be potentially problematic. They're very confident. He certainly struck a very confident tone as far as saying that Winslow will be back this year and soon, pretty soon. Like, as ever, the Grizzlies are not ever particularly inclined to stipulate like specific timetable.
Right.
But you can understand that to a degree. But says that he's gonna come back, and talks about the idea that's and he kind of honestly, like, I would say, confirmed what we have talked about here on the show as far as the rationale behind doing the move and the way that it worked out, and then folding that in with the Dylan Brooks extension. All of that kind of comes together with the idea that they felt as though whatever it was that they would be able to do with that cap space that they're foregoing in order to take on Justice Winslow's deal, it would not have been anywhere close to the value that Winslow himself would bring. So they think, well, maybe we can use that space. If we don't get Winslow, we still have $40 million in space, $50 million in space. Maybe we can use some of that to take on a contract, but then also get draft picks as a result of that. They felt like even if you play out all the things that might happen, it still wouldn't add up to you ending up with a player that they think can be as impactful as Winslow would be. So why go through all that? They have this reputation, I think, now because of what happened this past summer as being a wheeling dealing, like, oh, let's maximize every little thing. But you look at the roster right now and it's fairly settled. Like, if you look at the two deep, you pretty much set with guys that are all pretty young still. I mean, at point guard, you got John Morant and Tyus Jones. At shooting guard, you've got Dylan Brooks, DeAnthony Melton, perhaps Josh Jackson fits in there somewhere, depending on how it goes. At the three, you got Justice Winslow. You got Kyle Anderson, who's played a fair bit of three now. He could play four, but he's kind of a hybrid there. And then you probably do have a spot there that you could probably do something with.
What about Grayson?
Grayson Allen, I forgot about Grayson. Grayson, who is he confirmed Coach K's breaking news that Grayson Allen is out for the year. A K-bomb.
Okay.
They expect he'll be fine for next year, but he is out for the rest of the year. He's in there somewhere too. Yeah, I forgot about him, but yeah, he's on the. I think he'd be kind of on the outside of that group, but he's definitely there and under contract and all that, and he's still young. There's probably a spot at that somewhere in the three to do something with potentially, but you're still there. Of course, at the four, you've got Jaren and Brandon Clark, and then Jaren can be kind of go to the five as well. And then at five, you've got Jonas and Gorgie Jing. And, Jing is still under 30, 27, I think. Same thing with Jonas. It's 28, 27. So those guys aren't like young, but they're certainly not old. That's all. That's a 10-man, 11 if you throw in Grayson. That's 11. You don't have a lot of room for you're not. What are you wheeling and dealing for? What are you going out there and doing? And so, if you look at the roster last year at this time versus now, it's completely different. I mean, the turnover is huge. And he said, obviously we can't. He said we don't expect a summer anywhere close to as busy as we had last year because what can you do? So in that, if you look at it from that sense, you begin to understand a little bit more about why they felt like it was okay to consolidate all of that into that one Justice Winslow thing.
Yeah. And it all makes sense. The frustration with the last front office regime, especially towards the end, was, are these moves making any sense? No. Are you going to explain them? No. Okay, well, now everybody's just hot. You don't have to, you mentioned it several times, you don't have to come out and tell everybody what your plan is. You just make the moves, and we should be able to tell, oh, okay, these moves are making sense. Are they good moves? We don't know, but they're making sense. This is what you're thinking. So I can follow along with the plan, and then we can critique the plan from the outside. We don't have to talk to you or have you tell us what exactly the plan is. If you're just making moves just for the sake of making moves, then it gets real frustrating as a fan to follow along with what's happening. The moves that they've made make sense. They needed to get younger. They did. They needed a strong young core. They got that. Thanks to the growth and development of Jaren Jackson Jr. in his second year and what Ja Morant came into this league as and his continued growth and development. Same with Brandon Clark. So you've got this young core. You've got players around. They are winning games. They are making a playoff push right now. So what do you need to do? You need to get pieces around that core that complement what they can do. Mm-hmm. And the acquisition of Justice Winslow and Tyus Jones and DeAnthony Melton and Grayson Allen, they really complement what Ja and Jaren do. So the moves from that standpoint make sense as well. And you've got all of these players relatively young, around the same age, and the thought is, hey, with this core, we can make not only a quick run at this thing being making the playoffs, but we can make a long-term play, locking this group of 10 or 11 guys up for a couple of years together. We expect to be able to make a long-term play at not just the playoffs, but maybe even a deeper run into the playoff.
Well, and to piggyback on your point, one of the things I asked him about was the idea that, some of the reason that you push that cap space forward, you punt on the cap space in 2020, but you open it up again in 2021 is because, maybe you think the team is going to be a different thing there. Maybe you think the team's going to be a little more together, maybe a really appealing proposition and a much better free agent class, to go out and attract some guys. And, he said pretty well point blank, like, we think this is a team that's going to be very attractive to free agents. People are talking about this already, and we think the people are going to want to play in Memphis. We think people are going to want to play with this group. So that is part of it too, that they have noticed that. He said it's not lost on us that, before I could even talk to Justice Winslow, he's out there on social media talking about how excited he is to join the Grizzlies. He said I couldn't even talk to him. But he's out there doing that. That we noticed that stuff and say, okay, and that certainly was something that popped into my mind. Like, you would never see dudes in that situation that would just be that excited about coming to the Grizzlies organization. I mean, they would do it, and a lot of people turned out to really love Memphis once they got here, and they fell in love with the city. They fell in love with that's what happened with so many guys, but there weren't a lot of dudes that were in Miami, right there on South Beach, and thinking, man, I can't wait to get to Memphis. And I can't
being rich in Miami hits different.
That's a different deal right there, man. Being young, being rich, being famous on South Beach, and all that, and you're thinking to yourself, wow, I can't wait to go to Memphis. Like that does not happen. So that's powerful, man. And then when you see a guy like Justice Winslow putting that energy out there, that's what you start to notice and say, well, this might be a different kind of group. This might have a different feel to it. This might have a different attraction level than we've seen in the past. And I think that's fair to say.
You've got the stars, I believe, in Jaren and Ja. And when you have players like that, the complementary pieces that you need to put around them, it is easier for you to go out there and get them. Immediately, like Cleveland, San Antonio, both markets who I think are small, right? But San Antonio with Tim, drafted Tim Duncan, got Manu Ginobili, drafted Tony Parker. All those three were drafted by the Spurs organization, but the Spurs, because of the success those three had as your core group, they were able to go out there year in, year out and find the complementary pieces. Even though it's San Antonio, people are like, yo, I get to play with Timmy D. I'll be down there.
I'm not ready.
I'm in Cleveland. Just think, look at what Cleveland is now. Nobody wants to go to Cleveland. LeBron James is in Cleveland. Oh, I get to play with LeBron? Sure, Boston, or sure, whomever. Trade me to the Cavs. I want to go to Cleveland. Again, it hits differently. You can being rich opens up so many possibilities for you as a young person. So many different ways to blow your money. It hits different when you're in Miami. It hits different in LA. It's something else to be rich and young and famous in like New York City. But for you to be willing to look around and say, oh my gosh, wait, I get to go to here, Memphis. I'm excited about that because I like that core group that they have there, and I think it's special.
Again,
that's how special that group is.
It's the and let's just be honest though, like the core group is special for sure, and it does appear from an attitude standpoint that these guys are really coming together in a special way. But let me draw a line into this. But it's all about Ja.
Yeah,
there's no question that's the beginning of it. That's where it all comes from. That's the source of it. You know, it all flows down from there. There's lots of domino effects that happen as a result of Ja. But he's the guy. He's the focal point. The reason why it all happens. In the same way that Giannis in Milwaukee. No one's going to Milwaukee. No one's excited about going to Milwaukee. I mean, Milwaukee's got a rough reputation, man. It's cold. It's small. There's not that much to do. They've had players, John Henson got guns pulled on him because he tried to go buy some jewelry. They race relations, not great.
Who's my man who
Sterling
took that
Brown.
weapon?
Sterling Brown. I mean, and yet people are saying, oh, Giannis is there? Milwaukee's great. Love it. Where's the wins of flight? Let's go. Like, it's when you have that person, it all goes from there. It all goes
for
from
Cleveland,
there.
it was LeBron. For San Antonio, that person was Tim Duncan. Like you need that person, and you're right. Ja Morant is that.
We never had that person.
No,
as much as Mike, Mark, all those guys, as great as they've been, we've never had that type of person. And to the point now where you have the team's executive vice president of basketball, the general manager, essentially saying, "Yeah, we notice. Yeah, that could be a thing. That could." And I'm not saying that that's all of a sudden like you're going to get, a Kevin Durant or if somebody, Giannis is going to be a free agent in 2020. I'm pretty sure that you're not going to say, "Hey, Giannis, come play." I don't think we're talking in that level, but I do think that you're going to see Memphis in some conversations at least, potentially getting meetings with these guys in a way that you haven't seen before. You're going to see them in the mix for guys, and maybe in the right situation, getting one. It may not be the right situation, but you're in that discussion. You're in the discussion for when every team has just got their mid-level exception, and every team could pay essentially the same. That's your mid-level exception. It's the same across the board. It'll be about $9.7, $9.8 million this summer. That's the set. That's set for everybody. Anybody's over the cap and not a taxpayer, that's what they got. So how do you pick if there's a player that's in demand that with the same amount of money across the board? All of a sudden now you are a different proposition than you were. It just puts you into categories that we have not seen Memphis have an opportunity to be in, and that's very exciting. In addition to the other excitement stuff that we've seen on the floor. Off the floor, I think it's very exciting to see what could be in place soon.
Yeah, that's what I meant when I said like going out there and getting the pieces to put around these guys. If something happens with this group, injuries or trades or somebody just not working out, all right, we've got to go replace them when everybody, because in the NBA, everybody has these same exceptions and everybody can pay the same thing. What makes you different? What makes you different from Indiana or an Orlando? Or from one of the teams out west, Minnesota. Like, what makes you different from Sacramento? Well, what makes us different is we got Ja Morant.
That's pretty different.
And that's different, man. You can come here and you're getting the rock. Ja's going to get you the ball. That it's going to be a fun style of basketball that you get to play, and we're going to win. If you want to win and you want to have fun doing so, we got a great locker room here. You're going to get the $9.7 million wherever you go. May as well come here and have more fun doing it. Your job will be a little bit easier.
No question. Let's we'll take that break this hour. Power brought to you by friends at Mid-South Power. Remember, Mid-South Power Distributors. Mid-South Power Distributors. That's where you need to go. If you've got diesel engines, you've got heavy duty, medium duty, light duty. You've got agriculture. You've got tractors out there that you're working, farm equipment. You got a combine, whatever it may be, whatever you're working with. If it's got diesel engine, then the folks at Mid-South Power Distributors can help you make that engine purr like a kitten. And if you've got an issue, some kind of problem, take it to them. They can do the work for you, or you can do the work yourself. They can diagnose it for you with their in-house dyno. It is right there for you. Mid-South Power, 3225 Mill Branch. Been doing this for 26 years. mid-southpower.com. That is all about Mid-South Power. We'll come back with lots more on this. Your text 67129. Sports 56 Mornings with Peter and CJ. Real Sports Dogs, Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7.
Want to get your voice heard? Hit us up on the First Bank phone line or First Bank text line.
Mid-South Power Distributors is your source for all things diesel. Their newly renovated drive-in repair shop is open to the public. Whether it'll be your everyday driver, farm equipment, fleet vehicle, or heavy-duty truck, their ASE-certified technicians will get you back on the road. The on-site dyno is ready to run all the necessary diagnostic testing. From preventative maintenance to complete overhauls, Mid-South Power can handle it all. Stop in today at 3288 Mill Branch Road or call 901-396-0710 and online at mid-southpower.com.
At Jason's Deli, you can stuff yourself full of great deli food that's healthy, fresh, and best of all, it's not expensive. Jason's Deli is all about choice. Whether you're looking for a gluten-free menu, vegetarian sandwiches, healthy kids' meals, or if you'd like to invent your sandwich via the build-your-own selections, Jason's Deli has you covered. And they only use fresh, wholesome ingredients. Choose from the club and specialty sandwiches, paninis, wraps, soups, salads, pastas, and much more. I love the cleanliness in the restaurant, the hospitality, and of course the cost. They have a huge salad bar and great soups, including Southwest chicken chili, fire roasted tortilla, organic vegetable, tomato basil, and many, many more. And if you're planning an event, their catering department is fantastic and can handle any size party. Go check out Jason's Deli's 4 locations. On Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, that's my favorite, on Germantown Parkway in Cordova, at Poplar and Highland, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch.
Flo here with a word that's just weird. Terry cloth. Who exactly is Terry, and why does he get his own fabric? Did he journey below SPF 50? Fight off some weeds in his daffodils? How about a word for everyone? Flotection. Yeah, I just made it up. But I'm not making up how great it feels when me and Progressive protect your new home. Ever think of that, Terry? No, Terry only thinks of himself.
Save an average of 17% on car insurance when you bundle home and auto through Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Discount not available in all states or situations.
DeSoto Auto Sales specializes in late model cars with low mileage. They have the highest standards in the car industry. All of their cars are test-driven, checked out from head to toe. Unlimited inventory, every make and model. And if it's not on the lot, they'll find it for you. Walk in the door of DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Within 45 minutes, you can test your car, get credit approval, and finish paperwork within an hour. No shortcuts at DeSoto Auto Sales. Kind, courteous employees, a down-home environment. DeSoto Auto Sales cares about your time. Lowest prices in a 350-mile radius. We're living in a world today where time does matter. Visit them online. Check out their referrals. DeSotoAutosales.com. Very proud to serve DeSoto County and other surrounding areas. DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Call 662-890-7184. 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto Auto Sales.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
I'm Brian Elder. It's been a particularly rainy season, and that stain on your ceiling isn't getting any smaller, exposing your family to the possibility of mold. Let me come take a look. 867-0303. Our technicians are Owens Corning Platinum Preferred, so don't let someone tell you that it has to be replaced if all you need is a repair to get several more years of life. 867-0303. Have me on your speed dial for when life's little catastrophes come up. 867-0303. Upgrade your roof to a beautiful Owens Corning Duration Architectural Shingle with a 50-year warranty and an unheard of 25-year labor guarantee. I'll measure your roof from outer space and give you a competitive estimate right over the phone. Buy now and pay nothing till 2022 with approved credit. 867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hurt. This hour is brought to you by Mid-South Power Distributors. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
It's too late. Who's gonna tell you things aren't so great?
Yeah, that's right.
It is Zach.
Nothing's wrong.
Nothing's wrong, girl.
Oh,
in the backyard.
Who's gonna drive you home?
Beep, beep.
See, now this is the thing. This was before Uber. So now, you could just Uber and Lyft now. It's this, you can't even ask that question. Who's going to drive? It says no.
So wait, what is this song about?
It's just about relationships.
Oh, okay.
Who's going to,
I mean, you could still.
bad situation. Who's going to help you out?
Okay, got you.
Yeah.
I mean, you can still ask. It's still you can still always put it on the table.
Put it on the table.
Save your money.
I prefer put it on the floor, to be honest with you.
Hey, nothing wrong with putting it on the table.
That's all right.
That's some good stuff.
Put it on the table.
Every now and then, catch it on the couch.
Get on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
You got to know. So that's our friend Laddie from Q1075 tried to get us to try a jackfruit during the break.
And what was going through your mind?
That's Bone Thugs and Harmony. Texter says, to the anti-tank crew the past 2 years, I'm sorry that we are relevant and didn't go 33-49 with late lottery picks the last couple seasons and aren't in the same mediocrity abyss again this year. I'm with you, Texter. Yeah. I love that, Texter. Exactly right. This is why you tank. And yes, you have to get lucky with your pick. Yes, you have to get the right person, but you cannot be in the right situation unless you are in that lottery. Unless you have got a ticket, you cannot win the lottery. That's how this works, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't win the lottery unless you buy that ticket.
Mm-hmm.
The old saying, man, got to accept help. Help's there, right?
Yeah.
The old story about people are drowning, lady in the house. Sheriff comes by and says, you got to go. You got to go. We got to get out of here. She says, no. I'm praying. God's going to take care of me. Okay. Water starts getting up a little bit higher. Boat comes. He says, let's go, lady, let's go. She says, God's going to get me. I'm good. I'm praying. She has to get all the way to the roof of her house. Helicopter comes down with a rope. She says, no, I can't take it down. God's going to protect me. God's going to save me. She drowns. Gets to heaven. God says, I sent 3 people to save you. What do you want me? You got it. It's there. Just take it. It's there for you.
It's not that simple, though.
It is that simple.
It is. No, it's not.
Just get the second pick in the draft and take John Morant.
Okay.
Done.
That is simple.
Nailed it.
That is simple.
Next.
But simply,
boom. What else you got?
Simply being a lottery team does not make it easy.
No,
it's not as easy
competent.
as.
You have to be
Okay.
competent.
So put that in there.
Okay.
Because they could have messed this up.
Again,
they have messed this up before.
I'm saying this lady though tells you you got to as long as you just don't sit there and make terrible decisions and not listen to logic, then you're going to be okay. But a lot of these teams have made continually bad decisions. The Grizzlies are in competent hands.
And
I know that's weird.
What a difference that makes.
I know that's weird. It's weird for me too. But it's absolutely, and again, this goes back to the trade deadline stuff, everything else. It all makes sense. Whether you agree with it or not, that's definitely a discussion. Maybe you don't think Justice Winslow is as good as they do. Maybe you are concerned about. I don't know. There's lots of different things out there. There's lots of reasons why it might be not to your liking.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. But you can understand at least the logic behind the move. Whereas some of the things that the Grizzlies have done over the years, you can't even really get to the logic of why they would do this sort of thing.
Telling me you don't understand why 2 seconds for what's my man's name? Was it Holiday? Didn't understand that move at the time?
Oh, I understood it. As a disastrous roll of the dice. Dexter says, Memphis is better than OKC. WTF is there to do an OKC. Stars change the dynamic. He does also say the good eating in Milwaukee.
Yes. I need to get up there. I like eating.
Milwaukee's fine. I'm not meaning to dog out Milwaukee. Milwaukee's fine. It's just it's not. Where would you want to go there other than
where would you rather be rich?
Yeah.
It's simple.
But Memphis, man, you got no state income tax. You got good eating. You get low cost of living.
Stop bearing the lead. And you have who?
Ja.
Oh, okay.
Of course.
All right.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
On top of everything else. And the Texter's right. I mean, OKC is boring. Lord.
They convinced Paul George to stay. Why?
I mean, you got people
because Russ was there.
You got a group.
You got a group. When you got people, you can make this stuff work.
Oh my Lord. Yeah, that's true. Hour number 1 in the books. Hour number 2 on the way. We're going to talk a little baseball rule changes. What? We'll get more. There's a few more notes of that conversation with Zach Kleiman. We'll get into yesterday some other NBA stuff, including the end of what may be something very special is coming to an end. All of that when we continue here on the program. Peter and CJ with you. It's a jackfruit, fool! Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7.
I wish we could stay here forever. We deliver olives, Greek sandals, and everything you need to relive that perfect trip to the Mediterranean. But what you really get when FedEx knocks on your door is so much more.
FedEx delivery.
Memories. What we deliver by delivering.
When the days are short and cold, there's no better way to heat up than to swing by 3rd and Court, Memphis' great downtown diner. Chase away the chill with daily lunch specials like meatloaf on Monday or Salisbury steak on Thursday. Nothing beats all-day breakfast to warm your insides, or come in for an old-fashioned diner milkshake with the extra added bonus of a full bar. A milkshake with booze will warm you up nicely. Sit and look out the panoramic windows at the gray winter outside and be happy that instead of being out there, you're inside 3rd and Court, the diner Memphis has been missing.
Bria's Fashion Boutique is the worst. First, they asked me if I needed help finding anything. Just because I'm gorgeous doesn't mean I need help.
No matter how hard you work for your small business, online reviewers will find something to complain about.
Then they tell me they're having a sale. Oh, so you're assuming I'm poor. Cool.
And while Progressive can't save you from these trolls, we can help you save money on commercial auto and business insurance.
Also, they tried to give me the friends and family discount. I'm not your friend, so...
Get a quote online today at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliated and third-party insurers.
The folks at Homer Skelton Hyundai want to say thank you. Thank you, Memphis, for another spectacular year. They set records, but I can understand why. You think about the product. Where else do you get a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty? That's what you get on every new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai. Oh, and thank you again for the 11th straight year, the #1 certified pre-owned car dealership in all of Memphis. It starts with that product, but then it goes to the shopper assurance. Where else do you go where you get transparent pricing, flexible test drive, take the car for a couple of days if you want, streamlined buying process? You're not going to be there all day, in and out. And then, and I have not seen this anywhere else, the 3-day worry-free exchange. You buy a new car, if you've got any buyer's remorse, you've got 3 days to change your mind. Just get on Lamar, take it into Mississippi, the first exit's Craft Road, turn left, and go see Chris True and all the gang at Homer Skelton Hyundai.
Join the Midday Show and Johnny Radio at Top Gun Shooting Range this Thursday from 10 to 3. Top Gun is located at 2770 Whitten Road, right off Summer Avenue. If you haven't been yet, you need to come check this place out. We'll be giving away 2 $50 Gould's gift certificates for your Valentine and a full automatic gun experience, which is getting to shoot 4 of Top Gun's fully automatic guns for free. That's this Thursday at Top Gun Shooting Range. Come shoot with us.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also keep up to date with everything going on by keeping up with Sports 56 on social media. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch for information on breaking news, chances to win prizes, and video of all the shows. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Stay in touch with Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7 on social media. We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hurt. This hour is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at Quincy White Station. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
Touching heat, freezing on my skin. I pretend you still hold me. I'm going crazy, I'm losing sleep. I'm empty, firing way too deep over you.
Yep. You playing the requests today?
Just a couple of them.
You need to get those requests in. You know,
Get your requests in, baby.
The folks are requesting. They love Soft Rock Tuesday. The people love it. People love it. CJ Texter says, put carrots in tin foil with some butter and pepper in the oven for an hour and then broil for 10 minutes.
I peeped that. Texter, I got you.
Another texter says, CJ, how does it compare to other tangy things you've tasted?
Same level of tang. You know, after the show, I have post-show fruit of some sort. And the orange I eat, the oranges, no matter what, the first bite is always, like right back here in the back part of my jaw, always is so intense that I have to do a little dance to finish that first bite, and afterwards it's fine. And that is a bittery sort of thing going on there. I don't know. Something's going on with me, man.
Well, I think it's related to your anosmia and everything else that you got going on.
Okay.
I think you're just kind of a weird guy, and you got weird taste buds, and you're strange. You're a strange fellow. It's something maybe probably mentally and physically wrong, perhaps. I don't know.
In the mental mind?
Yeah. The third eye.
Maybe.
The third taste bud. You got to open that thing.
Got to crack that third taste bud up. You're right.
Tasting. So do you taste? Do you ever taste? You ever taste smells?
No.
You ever see sounds?
No.
Okay. All right. Because there's a thing for that too. So
no, I don't. No, I hadn't seen sounds.
Okay. Well, there's some people that have that. Got some wires crossed in their brains, and some stuff comes out weird the other end. So I thought, I was wondering maybe you got something like that.
You got an interior monologue, or do you just see the words? You seem like the type to just see the words. Do you talk to yourself on the inside?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Good. Okay. Because some people don't have that. That was news to me.
A lot of that's been kind of a thing. That's been kind of a thing online where people say, "Well, I can." I mean, I don't know that I can perceive it. I don't know if I can. I mean, hear it is different.
Okay.
But like I can definitely perceive. I can hear like music and stuff. In my head.
Cool.
I don't have to talk to myself in order to have a conversation with myself. If that's what you're saying.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. See, that's news.
Yeah.
I didn't know we made people like that.
Yeah.
I thought we were all just walking around talking to ourselves.
No.
Okay.
No. I'm silent on the outside, but I can have an inner dialogue working on. What about that?
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I'm not saying anything outside.
Okay.
I'm not talking. I'm not actually talking.
No, of course not.
Some people verbalize it.
Yeah, some people do verbalize it. So, no, I mean just like in your head, like be talking.
Can
to
you
yourselves.
visualize like? There was somebody that said there was one that was like if you take an apple, can you when you close your eyes, what do you see? Do you see an apple, or do you just kind of see like the thought of an apple? Do you actually see an apple? Do you?
No, I see an actual apple.
Like a real apple?
Yeah, like a real apple.
Yeah, I don't see that.
Oh, really? I see the Fuji apple because that's the apples I have to eat. Did not know that apples had different tastes until I got married. I thought they were all just
for God's sake,
apples.
See, CJ. I mean, I'm sure Zach knows, but apples are a delight. There's so many different types.
You had one this morning.
Honeycrisp. That's my go-to. Honeycrisp.
Wife
Always
likes
Honeycrisp.
Fuji.
Fuji's fine. I mean, I think Honeycrisp is a better. You're going to be happier with the Honeycrisp all the way around. I think it's always my go-to is the Honeycrisp. I think the Fuji's good. It's fine. Jazz, okay, no problem. If you need to go with the Jazz, it's fine. Sweet Tango is nice. I like a Sweet Tango. There is the Kanzi is a different one that they were kind of working on the Kanzi a little bit. That's fun. That's a new one. Don't go Red Delicious. Like that's just you don't do that to yourself. Why would you do that to yourself? Ugh, Red Delicious. And the apple needs to have some crunch to it. I don't want mealy. I don't need I need some crunch to it. I need some texture to my apple. I prefer it cold. I don't really want a room temperature apple. That doesn't sound very good to me. I want a cold, little crunch with a little bit of sweetness and maybe a little bit of tang on the back end is fine too. But that's where it needs to go. So yeah, the Granny Smith a little too tart for my liking, but great baking apple. Wonderful. If you make an apple pie, that's perfect. Lots of different choices.
All right.
Anyway,
green apples are my jam. I like a good green apple.
That's your Granny Smiths and all that.
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite apple there, Zach?
I gotta go with the green apple as well.
Just any green? The Granny Smith? You want like any other?
I don't have a particular brand of apple.
It's not a brand. It's a,
or
it's
the
a variety.
type. The
the Del Monte apple.
I can't wait for the Supreme
Nike,
apple.
The Nike apple, Supreme.
Give me the Supreme apple, just the Supreme on the apple. That's going to be what, $700, $800?
$50 per apple.
Let's see what's going on.
Or the
with
Yeezus
Supreme
apples,
apple.
you know, the Yeezus apples, the Samoas. Well, but no type of variety. Like I just like the green apples. I prefer the green over the red ones. Cause
what do we? Okay,
what?
It's just a preference.
We got no. We got plenty. There's tons we're gonna get. Just real quick. It's not just green or red though. Within the green and red, there's lots of different varieties. You can't just say like not every red apple tastes like a red apple.
That's the deal.
Yeah.
I didn't know they had different tastes until I was told they had different
totally
tastes.
Different.
I did not know that.
Totally different. Yeah, you got no. They're all different.
I know there's different apples. It's just I'm not aware of the variety of apples.
Well, do yourself a favor. Go to the grocery store and try some different apples and see what you think. You'll be shocked at how different they taste. Some of them, like again, the Honeycrisp. That's the king of apples. 67129. What's your favorite apple? Just go ahead and give CJ and apparently now Zach. I had no idea. I thought Zach of all people, with his love of the veggies and fruits, that he would be in the mix on this thing, but maybe not. So now I got to open his eye too to this whole deal. Let them know. Honeycrisp, I think it's gonna be tough to beat.
Okay.
Wonderful Honeycrisp, so good. And just do not eat to see a basket of Red Delicious makes me angry. We should just get that off the face of the earth. There's no reason for it. There's so many other better apples out there. Lord. Now
Supreme has a keychain that is, you guessed it, $160.
Just for the life of me. Texter says, have you tried the cotton candy grapes? No lie, they're delicious. That's true. I thought my kids would like them, so I bought them, and they did not. They did not like them, but I did. I thought they were good.
Okay, I have to try those.
Yeah, they do. They do have the cotton candy kind of taste to them.
Oh, they taste like cotton candy. Okay,
what do you think they were like?
I thought cotton candy was the name of the.
Yeah, it is the name and
brand.
also the taste.
Oh no,
it's not a brand.
Cotton candy doesn't do it for you, boy.
Okay, but they are delicious. I agree. Okay. Although, like I said, I thought my kids would like them, and they didn't. They liked regular grapes.
Okay,
grapes have a different flavor too. It's just oranges have different flavors.
Okay. I take your word for it. All of them taste like an orange to me. Except for the pink oranges, the ones that are pink on the inside. Those taste super sweet.
Are those oranges?
Yeah. What do we call those?
Grapefruits? You're talking about grapefruit?
No.
I believe we call those grapefruits. Jackfruit?
Not the jackfruit. We talked about it one time, Peter. Cara. Or Cara. How are we saying that? C-A-R-A. How do you say that?
Cara orange?
The Cara, whatever it's called. Those oranges. They're pink on the inside.
Okay.
So they got the orange wrapper, and then you take them off, and they're pink on the inside.
Okay. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, it's I think we call that. It's like a navel orange variety. Okay. Maybe check that out. We talked about the way things have gone in the NBA for the Grizzlies. It's been a great season thus far. We'll see how things continue. The story of the season, though, if it's not the Grizzlies, then it's got to be the Toronto Raptors at this point, who beat the red-hot Minnesota Timberwolves.
Oh, man.
Timberwolves coming off a one-game winning streak, and the Raptors shut them down. Hard to believe, I know, but they shut them down. 137-126. 15 straight wins for the Raptors. They have not lost in a month. They lost, Kawhi Leonard. You looked and said,
Green,
Danny Green, but you looked, you say, without Kawhi, what are they going to do? And everyone's getting older and they want a title, and now they may end up selling off at the trade deadline. They may end up getting rid of. No, they've been phenomenal, and props to Terrence Davis, the former Ole Miss Rebel, who's been sensational for them off the bench. Pascal Siakam is outstanding. OG Anunoby, big game last night. Really, really big game for him. Van Vliet, terrific. It's an unbelievable story, and I just have to give him so much credit for what they've. Nick Nurse as a coach is spectacular. It's been I had no idea this was coming.
Yeah, I didn't either. I didn't. If you told me they were getting in the playoffs, I'd be like, oh, okay, they probably creep in, sneak in. Telling me that they are legit threats to that Eastern Conference title throne.
Blood orange. My buddy just texted. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Oh, what happened?
Blood orange.
What's that?
Your red fleshed orange. Blood orange.
No, it's not red. It's pink. That's the Cara. Is it the same? Blood orange? Okay.
Anyway,
well,
go
okay.
ahead. Go ahead.
But for them to be doing this is remarkable. This is fantastic what they're able to do. And like, can Pascal Siakam win Most Improved Player again this year? Because he is.
He could.
He's gone from being a solid role player to the number 2 guy on a championship team, to the dude on that team. His growth and development is remarkable, and it shows you not only do you need to draft the right guy, but you've got to have something in place to develop these players. You know, otherwise, you no matter how much talent this player, whatever player you want to use, no matter how much talent, insert player name X here, has, if you don't develop it, it's all for naught. You've got to have developmental procedures in place. And the Raptors clearly had that with Pascal Siakam. He is phenomenal and playing really well now as the dude on that team.
Yeah. I mean, it's they're for real. They're 40-14. They won 58 games last year with Kawhi in the fold. Now Kawhi missed about 20 games or so because they were managing his load, so to speak. And but these guys are on pace to this is like a 60-win pace.
And looking at it from a matchup standpoint,
crazy. Marc Gasol, Serge Ibaka not playing last night. I mean, they're not even.
Like, it's Minnesota. You don't have to play anybody. Looking at it from a matchup standpoint, though, like Eastern Conference Finals, let's say it is Milwaukee and Toronto in a 7-game series. Are we sure that Giannis can shoot well enough to keep this defense honest? Because last year he just was not able to do that. Are we sure? And we've seen what happened. And I think that roster for Milwaukee had a bit more talent on it last year. We've seen what happened when you take a step back and you can pack the paint and force Giannis and what's my man's name? Point guard. Bledsoe. Force them to shoot the ball and shoot you out of that. Are we sure that they can do that? Because I'm not.
I'm certainly not sure about Bledsoe in the playoffs. I think Giannis, it remains to be seen about his shooting in the playoffs, but he has become so physically dominant that he's probably, I don't know there's much you can do with him. I mean, you make it difficult for him as best you can, but he's going to get his. But I agree, Bledsoe is one of the first guys I think of when I think of a guy that might be a playoff liability. A guy that's a really good regular season player, really good, but then a little. I mean, it's wild, man. It's wild, and that tells you how good the Bucks have been. That the Raptors have won 15 straight, and they've only gained, I think, 2 games on the Bucks. Yeah, because the Bucks are just phenomenal. Bucks are 46-7. The Raptors are 6.5 back of the Bucks. It's not really getting not nearly as much play as you might think of just how dominant the Bucks are, but their point differential is plus 12.5. That is miles ahead of the second place team, which is the Lakers at plus 7.4. It basically 5 more. They are by any measure they should be the overwhelming favorites to win an NBA championship this year. On the other side of it, you have the San Antonio Spurs, losers now of 5 straight.
Oh.
And it's been a great run. It's been a great run in San Antonio.
Yeah.
I mean, phenomenal, really.
Mm-hmm.
You look at Greg Popovich, Hall of Famer. I mean, Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker. I mean, it's been playoff season after playoff season. It's been since 1997 that this team missed the playoffs. But they're going to miss the playoffs this year.
Yeah.
Having lost 5 straight, they're 5 games back of the Grizzlies at 22-31 this year. 4th place in the division, 11th overall. I don't see any way back at this point. I really don't.
I don't either. But hey, '97 was the last time this franchise wasn't in the playoffs.
What a crazy
That is
run.
remarkable, man. That shows you how great Tim Duncan was. Because that is we talk about Brady Belichick, those two being the constants for New England in the NFL, but the constants for the Spurs, as great as everybody else was, the Manu Ginobili's, the David Robinsons, the Tony Parkers of the world, the two constants from that run were Tim Duncan and Coach Popovich, and really Coach Popovich, because he got him there last year, and Duncan was not on the court for them. So hats off to him. But all good things got to come to an end at some point, and this appears to be the end of that Spurs run.
I just don't see it. I don't see them coming back at this point. I don't see what they bring to the table. DeMar DeRozan.
What's the deal there? Because DeRozan and Aldridge are really good players, I thought.
Yeah, but I mean, again, I think look at what's happened with the Raptors since DeRozan's been traded.
Mm-hmm.
Look at what's happened. The Blazers. These are teams that have figured out ways to win and be better without these guys.
Mm-hmm.
And the Blazers last year making a run to the Western Conference Finals, and this year, they're the toughest rival that the Grizzlies have for that 8th spot. It's hard to win with them. It's hard to win with DeRozan and Aldridge. They have kind of an old school approach. They make a ton of money. It's only this year that they've been able to coax LaMarcus Aldridge to try to take more threes, to get back behind the 3-point line. It's not his thing. DeMar DeRozan doesn't want to take threes. The spacing is difficult with those players, and they're not a overwhelmingly good defensive group either. So there's not. I don't know what you hang your hat on. It's not a super talented roster, and on top of that, like they were hoping for a lot out of DeJounte Murray. Really haven't gotten that kind of production from him. It's tough. It's tough, and I don't see it happening for them this year, and I'm not sure when it's going to happen for them because they've got a kind of a bloated roster right now.
Mm-hmm. And that's welcome to NBA purgatory.
Not where you want to be.
No, late lottery picks, middle of the pack NBA teams. That it is hard to build that way. But if anybody can get it done, I have to still think that this Spurs franchise, with all of the success that they've had the past 20 plus years, I would think that they'd be able to get it figured out and figure out quickly and get back to contending for playoff berths.
Yeah, I think it's you just give kudos to as opposed to criticizing them or whatever. Just it's a credit to Popovich and credit to that's a hell of a run, man. That's incredible consistency. Back before many of you listening were born, many of you were in college or high school. The last time the Spurs
elementary school
didn't make the playoffs. I mean, it's hard to even remember a playoff, without them. So basically, since Tim Duncan arrived, that they've been in the playoffs every single year. You can just mark it down. This year, it's not going to happen unless something very, very big changes very, very soon. And after they lost to Denver last night, I don't see it. Andre Iguodala, by the way, comes off the bench for the Heat. It's a classic Andre Iguodala moment. And I should point out, it was kind of nice because Golden State, they were in Golden State. That was cute. You know what I mean? Like it was a nice thing. And it was kind of a classic Iguodala performance, really. Like it was a classic. Took one shot, made it, played 17 minutes, and yet was a plus 25 coming off the bench because of the impact that he that he had, and the Heat go in to win in Golden State. So it was a nice situation. He also had a chance to chat with the folks in Golden State about the Grizzlies situation, and I wanted to play that for you. Am I good over here? Okay. So here's what he had to say about all of that yesterday. Okay, we gotta get everything. Thought we had it good here. Okay, here we go.
this year, and Ja's Rookie of the Year. I've been watching him, phenomenal talent. I think I saw the poll said who would you start a franchise with if you had to pick a point guard, and I would have voted for him as well. So excited for Ja's career and what he's going to be able to accomplish for the next 10, 15 years. And Dylan just signed a 3-year deal, so happy for him. Save your money, young fella. Take care of your chicken and your mentals. So trying to look out for my young guys as best possible.
A little Marshawn Lynch reference there when you're in the Bay.
I love it.
In your Bay Area, take care of your chicken and your mentals.
Yes.
He said, I'd start a team with Ja. Ja's great. All this stuff got overheated. It's one of the things that Kleiman talked a little bit about. Didn't want to say much about it other than just that they were constantly in contact with Andre Iguodala's people. It was all, everybody knew what was going on. Nothing was shocking. This whole thing was really overblown to a large degree because of and I get it. And I asked Kleiman about what did you think as a front office guy, as the GM of the team? Essentially, you're watching your team out in public and you're seeing this whole thing kind of play out, but you also see like Dylan Brooks saying, I can't wait to trade him. Yeah, and Ja's like out here getting wild on these social. And he says his thing was, that's all good stuff. He said that he's proud. He's proud to be part of this team. He's proud of his guys in his locker room. He's defending his locker room. He said that's, from my perspective, that's all good stuff. And so at the end of the day, it becomes like a little bit of a sort of a wrestling thing. Everyone's getting all heated up. It's the feud is cool and it's fun, but it's not. There's not much to it, and all parties involved understood what this was going to be. I don't think Andre Iguodala had any intention to be insulting to Memphis as a city, certainly, or even as a franchise. Just it didn't match the point of his career, and to be honest, it didn't match the Grizzlies either. They weren't clamoring to go get a 35-year-old a bunch of minutes. That didn't make sense for them either. So this was a mutually beneficial situation.
There are different types of veterans. We understand that. We know that. Jaren Jackson Jr. is technically a veteran, but he's 20. Jay Crowder, Solomon Hill, yes, they are veterans, but they were 27, 28. That they're at different stages in their career. This is, for Andre Iguodala, 1, maybe 2 more years of legit impact role on a team. So yeah, he's gonna move a little bit differently than other seasoned vets would move. And the Grizzlies didn't want him here. It didn't fit their timetable. Everybody came out on top, man. They flipped Andre for an asset. Andre got to go and is now on a team that is going to be competing for a deep playoff run. Everybody comes out on top.
That's the way, and that was one of the things that the Kleiman said is that at the end of the day, everyone comes out okay. So it all worked out. When we come back, we will talk a little college hoops. Also get into a little Major League Baseball reform being discussed, which is kind of wild, if you ask me. It's something that other sports I think could consider. Some of it I think is going to be terrible, and some of it I think is actually going to be quite good. All of that when we continue here, Sports 56 Mornings with Peter and CJ. Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7.
Ladies and gentlemen, grab a seat every afternoon for Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio. Right here on Sports 56, 96.1 FM and 87.7 FM.
It's February. Hi, this is John Conway with Conway Services. Are you considering replacing your air conditioning system this spring? Conway Services and Carrier have teamed up to make now the perfect time to replace that old energy-guzzling system. February is one of our slowest months of the year. Our warehouse is full and our crews are slow. So to spark business during these slow winter months, Conway Services is giving away Carrier 80% gas furnaces absolutely free with the purchase of a standard Carrier air conditioning system. That's right, purchase a Carrier air conditioning system in the month of February and get the gas furnace for free. If that's not enough, we'll include an April air cleaner, a 10-year parts warranty, and a free Nest thermostat. Plus 12 months interest free. See why I call it February? And with Conway Services, you'll be receiving our award-winning service every time. So call Conway Services, the Mid-South's premier heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric service company, and the first 30 callers with a 10-year-old heating and air conditioning system will come out and inspect it absolutely free.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
Tiger Hoops fans have something extra to look forward to this coming March. Not only is it tournament time, but it's the opening of the Tiger Hoops exhibit at the Pink Palace Museum.
After Finch's two-pointer, Ronnie Robinson sank the shot that once again brought the two teams into a tie.
Come to the Pink Palace Museum this March and experience 100-plus years of Tiger men's and women's basketball, from their beginnings as the West Tennessee State Normal School to the present.
The Tigers are very much alive.
Don't miss the Tiger Hoops exhibit at the Pink Palace Museum, opening March 7th. Looking for a great place to deposit your money? Try First Bank. Competitive CD rates, a money market that moves with Wall Street prime and interest-bearing checking account options. Not to mention their friendly bankers who make decisions locally. To find out more, stop by one of First Bank's 3 local branches. 6482 Poplar Avenue, just east of International Paper. 8398 Highway 64 across from Wolf Chase. And 6280 Highway 64 in Oakland. Or visit firstbankonline.com. Member FDIC.
Everyone agrees that February is the most romantic month. Not just because of Valentine's Day, but because it's so cold, this is the month when we really have to share that body heat. And if you want romance, you simply can't beat 117 Prime, Memphis's premier downtown dining destination. Take your significant other out for the dinner of their life at 117 Prime, and romance will definitely be in the air. A great wine list, a huge selection of bourbons, perfect steaks, and of course, the best oyster bar in downtown Memphis. Take the one you love to 117 Prime, and you'll definitely be sharing body heat later.
Listen Sundays at 11 a.m. to join Idlewild Presbyterian Church for worship. Idlewild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Campbell Clinic now offers daytime walk-in care, and you don't need an appointment. If you've got any kind of urgent break, sprain, strain, you can walk into any of their 5 convenient locations Monday through Friday from 8 until 4. There's no long wait you have to put up with the ER, and those doctors are really good, but they're not orthopedists. They're not world-renowned orthopedists who have come up with different procedures and written the manuals for them that are used everywhere in the world, and I'm not kidding you. And you can now see those doctors who treat the Tigers, the Grizzlies, the Redbirds. You can see them today without an appointment. And I'm talking Collierville, Germantown, South Haven, downtown at the Med Center, or even the Campbell Clinic Spine Center in Cordova. Now, if you've got something pressing, you got to go to work and you can bear the pain until the evening, there's Campbell Clinic After Hours. That's Monday through Thursday from 5 to 8 in Germantown, South Haven, even Saturday morning in Germantown. If you're injured, don't wait. Visit Campbell Clinic Walk-In Care or Campbell Clinic After Hours.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and C.J. Hertz. This hour is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at Quincy White Station. Here once again are Peter and C.J.
There's a story in my eyes. Turn the pages of desire. Now it's time to trade those dreams.
Our pal Jason listening and tweeting in, giving props to the Pink Lady as his apple of choice. Says Pink Lady's what you want, and then he has a very funny little GIF.
We're going GIF.
Hate all of it. Glug. Pink Lady's are good though. Pink Lady's good. It's kind of to me it's a bit of a poor man's Honeycrisp, but your wife, and I know your wife's a bit picky about these apples, but you got to get have you had the Honeycrisp?
I don't know.
A good Honeycrisp is apples. America's. That's nature. It's like nature's fruit, is what it is.
It's nature's fruit. This apple is nature's fruit. Okay.
The apple is nature's fruit. That's what I say.
What I'm going to do is. Because we grocery shop once a week, fresh fruits, vegetables, whatnot.
Not that
I'm
fresh,
going to.
Once a week.
What do you mean? Do I need to shop every day?
If you want the freshest.
No, whatever. So I'm going to start sprinkling in these random apples and see if she notices.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
What?
You're just gonna cause problems, man.
Am I?
Yeah.
Okay, I won't do it then.
Don't do that.
I will tell her, hey, eat this apple. Take a bite of this and see if you don't like it.
No, don't do that either.
What do I need to do to get her to eat these other apples?
You don't have, just explain to her. Have an apple taste test.
Peter, no, that's not going to work.
Put these apples out in front.
It's not going to work.
Make it a date night Where you taste apple.
Apple taste date night.
Yes.
That might work.
Yes.
I might can get away with that one.
Like a wine tasting.
Yes,
apple tasting. Yeah, same thing.
I might can get away with that.
Mm-hmm. And see which one you like as a blind taste test.
Okay.
Throw the Fuji in there, but also throw a Jazz, throw a Honeycrisp, throw a Pink Lady, throw a Sweet Tango. Throw a Red Delicious in there, but you're gonna throw that as soon as you take a bite of that. Ugh. And then you're good to go. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised.
Okay.
By whoever wins, whichever apple wins the apple derby. Major League Baseball is mulling major changes to the postseason. These changes, CJ, could be quite interesting, which is unusual for Major League Baseball. And they could, for example, increase the number of teams to make the playoff from 10 to 14.
Okay.
It was, for the longest time, you had 4 teams that made the playoffs in Major League Baseball. That was it. You win your division, you go straight to the championship series. You got 2 divisions in each side, National League, American League. They play off in the championship series. Boom, World Series, that's it. So making the playoffs, winning your division was a big deal. Then we expanded out a little bit, threw those divisional series in the mix. Okay.
We added another division.
We added wild card.
Expansion.
That kind of thing. So we kind of, then we added another wild card.
Single game.
That's right. Now we're going to take it, apparently, and potentially add even more. 3 division winners and 4 wild card teams. That would be 14 in total. The best team in the league would receive a bye into the division series. The 2 remaining division winners and the wild card team with the best record would all host a best of 3 series in the opening round. Then it's going to be a little bit wild at that point. Now, here's the other thing. Okay, this is what I like. You would also get an opportunity to potentially pick your opponent in the first round.
Yes.
So you would be able to select your wild card opponent from the division winner with the second best record would select its wild card opponent from the 3 wild card winners not hosting a series. The division winner with the worst record would then choose its opponents from the remaining 2, and then the final matchup would be the other teams. So within that division, you would get to, the ones that have to play the wild card matchups and all that, would get to pick who your opponent is.
I love that. Call them out.
Love that.
Call them out. Like, hey, listen, we can beat y'all. We got first pick. We want to play that sorry team right there. We coming to get y'all. Imagine a bulletin board material. The bullet board. Let's not have that. But the bulletin board material.
Javaris Crittenden deal right there.
Gilbert Arenas. Bulletin board material being that wild card team taken first. Like, oh, so y'all want to play us? Well, we're going to show you a thing or two. That's fun. I look forward to that storyline.
I'm excited about that too. I've said that for a long time. Like, I think in the NFL, in the NBA, this would be so much fun. Because if you remember the year that the Grizzlies beat the Spurs in the first round back, the very first series win for the Grizzlies, they tanked to get that seeding because they wanted the Spurs. And the Spurs had to know in the back of their mind that was not a great matchup for them. They had a tough situation at the 4 spot. Antonio McDyess was starting for them. Zach Randolph was going to be able to feast inside. The Grizzlies said, we like this matchup. We want to get these guys. We think we can beat these guys. Don't care what the record is. So in that sense, had they won and had they been able to pick their opponent, they probably would have picked somebody else. It would be so much fun to be able to have that hype because you're right. That selection show would be heavily rated, and you get to pick which team, and you would either they'd actually pick them, which I think it'd be more fun to send out a team captain or a team representative to say, we the Philadelphia 76ers would like to play the Miami Heat, y'all, and then maybe some trash talk would be great.
Just from a matchup standpoint, great organization, great franchise, but we match up better with them.
Exactly.
Because they're bad at basketball.
And then you're good to go. And then so you naturally have amplified the rivalry. You've naturally amplified the series. The team that has been picked is understandably pissed off about the idea that they are vulnerable, especially if they're a higher seed and you've chosen not to pick the 8 seed, but you're going to pick like the 5 seed. Love it. So that's exciting. What's not exciting is 14 teams in Major League Baseball. Why do you have a 162-game regular season, and then half your teams now are going to be making the playoffs?
You can shorten that down some, but I get it. I think they're trying to take away from people from the mass conglomerate of sellers that they have starting the season and right around the trade deadline. Like, okay, we understand, because right now it is just the top three, the 6 teams that win their division and 2 wild cards. The next 2 teams with the best record play a 1-game scenario to get into the playoffs. So right there, if you're not winning your division, well, okay, there are only 2 more spots left. Are you good enough to get one of those 2 spots? No. Everybody in Major League Baseball becomes sellers and just start moving off of their assets and moving off. So I think that what they're trying to get is a more competitive field of teams throughout the course of the whole season.
Yeah, I mean, they've clearly got issues there because you've got Boston who is selling off on Mookie Betts. If Boston can't afford to pay anybody, then what's the point? You're selling off on Mookie Betts because you don't want to pay him, who's probably depending on who you talk to, I saw him described by some folks in Boston as the best position player in Boston since Ted Williams.
Oh, wait, what?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can't keep him because you don't want to pay the going rate that it's going to take to get him. You're Boston.
Mm-hmm.
You are one of the richest franchises in the entire sport. You have ticket prices that are exorbitant, have been raised tremendously through the last few years. You've been willing to spend and spend and spend, and this is the point when you say no and you trade the guy away to avoid that. If you have that, if the sport can't sustain that type of team, if Boston's making that decision, then the whole sport is in trouble. That's a crazy decision. No one is trying. The point is to try. The point of trading away a player to get prospects in young picks is to be able to be in a position where you have a young player as good as Mookie Betts, so that you can pay him and keep him.
Mm-hmm.
But what's the point of getting the young prospect and getting him in your system and all that stuff and getting him, and the fans love him and he's a big star, and then sorry. Now in Boston, no less. It's not Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
It's not Miami. What are you doing?
They looked around and
That's
said,
crazy.
Hey, and I think this is what the MLB is trying to find a way to curtail. Like, Boston looked around and said, okay, what are we in this particular division? All right, so we might not be quite as good as the Yankees, or what are we from a wild card standpoint with Mookie for going forward? Okay, well, we might need to just move off of this and move some other stuff around so that we can get back to winning championships, to winning the division. And because it is such a selective group of teams that get into the playoffs, only 4 get into the playoffs. Well, if you count that playoff, the single game elimination, 5 from each side each conference gets into, or each league, gets the playoffs, and you've got a league of 30 teams or so. Like, you got to look around and say, hey, we've got to find a way to get some of these teams who are good enough to be entertaining and help carry the sport through the summer. We got to find a way to keep them competing and not all of a sudden at the trade deadline become massive sellers, and then they fall down to the bottom of the league and we don't have near as much interest in everybody across the country.
Yep. That's I just think this is like I don't know. I wouldn't say canary in the coal mine for the sport or anything like that, because there's lots of people making money here. But if you can't sustain that level, this is like the Warriors deciding like they're going to just let Steph Curry go.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, no, we can't pay him. Bye.
Well, they traded him, but yeah,
they didn't trade Steph Curry.
I mean, they traded Mookie.
But you know what I mean? Like, they're not gonna. That was their decision because they didn't want to pay him.
Mm-hmm.
This was similar to, what like Oklahoma City had done with James Harden, trading him prior to having to pay him. But that was before Harden, and that was a bad decision.
Mm-hmm.
But that was before Harden even to become like this dude's a MVP type. I mean, this is just baffling to me. Baffling, like, and it's not Oklahoma City.
Yeah,
it's Boston.
They got money.
They got plenty of money.
Yeah.
I mean, the Lakers, like, what would who's are the Lakers selling off? No, it just doesn't make any sense. So that's why you really have a major issue here.
Where are we? I haven't seen anything. Where are we with the whole sign stealing scandal? Are we done as far as punishment goes there?
We're not done.
Okay.
We're not done.
All right, now, and that
we are not done. My friend, we got more.
I think that might have something to do with it. Also, they might
be
they might be looking around and saying, okay, we might get hammered pretty hard here. Let's plan for that by going out now and getting some young pieces to help us in this transition, because we won't be able to add young pieces for the next 2, 3, 4 years.
I mean, okay, maybe, I don't know. That's an interesting thought to think about. How that played into it, but I would think you'd want to lock up your guy. I would think you'd want to lock up.
Yeah,
your dude.
You already got the dude.
You already got the dude.
Yeah.
Like, that's the guy you just bring.
Mid-20s, late 20s.
Yeah, 27. Yeah, I mean, come on, man. It's.
I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out what.
It's
I'm
bad,
just trying to find a way to make it make sense, man.
I've been dogging out our good friend Matt Stark, big Red Sox fan, for just texting him just stuff about selling off players. It's great. Getting angrier and angrier. It's wonderful to see. It's amazing when you have big markets acting like small markets. You have a sport that's where it's going. That's trouble. That's big time trouble for sure. Back after this, as we continue here, we'll get into a little college hoops on the other side. Real Sports Talk Sports 56.96.1 87.7.
Listen online anywhere, anytime at sports56whbq.com.
The Can-Am Spring Fever event is here and ready to take you on the ultimate off-road ride and get you some serious savings. Can-Am is built for ripping through trails, crawling through mud, cruising over dunes, getting the job done. Get it done for less. Farmers and ranchers can save up to $1,500 on select 2020 Defender models, or even on select 2019 models, save up to $2,500 during the Spring Fever event. Get yourself a new Can-Am off-road vehicle at a great price. Visit us today, Olive Branch Motorsports, 5656 Goodman Road, or online at obmotorcycleatv.com.
There's a new commissary in town in Collierville. Germantown Commissary is doubling. Yeah, they're still going to have the old Germantown Commissary by the tracks, but now there's a huge new Germantown Commissary in Collierville at Poplar and Houston Levee Road. It's huge, too. There's a drive-through. There's plenty of parking. No telephone pole to get in your way. A cool patio. It's right by the track, so the tradition continues. And this is a tradition that's been around forever. That commissary is famous for hickory-smoked, slow-cooked Memphis-style barbecue. They've got a private party room at the new one in Collierville. Self-catering still continues. Party packs for $5.95. Basically, the great ribs, the great pulled shoulder, the great deviled eggs. Everything is there in Collierville and Germantown now. So there is now a Germantown and Collierville style of barbecue. It's called Germantown Commissary.
It's bound to be a memorable night at FedEx Forum when Damian Lillard and the Portland Trail Blazers face off against the Next Gen Grizzlies during Hardwood Classic Night, Wednesday, February 12th at 7 p.m. Get tickets at 901-888-HOOP or Grizzlies.com today and get Memphis.
Hi, folks. Bob Burkheimer for Sunrise Buick GMC Truck. Thinking about a new or used car or truck and not sure where to get the most for your money? Listen to what Sunrise has to offer. Over 1,000 new Buicks and GMCs to choose from with factory rebates up to $6,500 and Sunrise discounts high as $10,000. Bad credit, bankrupt, slow pay, it's okay at Sunrise. We specialize in secondary financing, and if you've got a job, you're approved at Sunrise. The #1 volume Buick GMC dealer in the Mid-South and home of the guaranteed credit approval. SunriseMemphis.com, Covington Pike, Wolf Chase, and Collierville.
The Vargas family, legendary Memphis restaurateur, starting with Mr. Charlie and continuing today with his grandchildren.
Brett, it just dawned on me the other day that while Memphis is celebrating its bicentennial, the Rendezvous has been here well over 1/3 of Memphis's existence. But we're not a place to rest on our laurels or reputation. We're always trying to add new things to make our customers' experience more enjoyable. Friday lunches have always been special because we give away our red beans and rice. But we are now adding a sausage sandwich.
John, we first got a taste of it at the golf tournament.
It's the same sausage we serve on our cheese and sausage plate, but it will be served lengthwise on a bun with beans and slaw on the side. We've also partnered with a company called Devillet out of Dyersburg to introduce a new sweet glazed mustard with Rendezvous seasoning in it. It will really go great with a sandwich. I still recommend adding slaw. As I've mentioned before, my grandfather had a hot dog stand on Beale Street in 1916, and that's the same slaw he used. So here we are now 103 years later, and we've come full circle using his slaw on our hot dogs. Hope to see you this Friday at the Rendezvous.
In the alley in downtown Memphis.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and C.J. Hertz. This hour is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at Quincy White Station. Here once again are Peter and C.J.
It's not that I want to, not to say, but if you
This is a crossover sort of situation here. It's like it's soft rock kind of, but it's also like hair metal, soft, like power ballad kind of thing.
Okay.
It's crossover, extreme. Extreme's not exactly soft rock per se, but this is fun. Soft rock adjacent. I think we can allow that to be the case, right?
Yeah, sure.
You've become an expert now.
No, I haven't.
No. You sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But this has strong soft rock undertones.
You could feel it, right?
I feel it in my soft rock bone.
You We didn't get a chance to talk about what happened on Saturday in Indiana. Bobby Knight returning to Assembly Hall for the first time in 20 years. The story of Bobby Knight is a really...
I didn't think he'd ever go back.
I didn't either. And then it got weird. It was a weird deal. It was good, I guess, but it was super emotional. And just be honest, Bob doesn't seem well. So it just didn't seem... At one point, he did the thing with Dick Vitale. I swear I was going to hit him. Like, it was a weird interaction between the two. It just didn't... Made me very uncomfortable. I kept thinking... he was obviously emotional, but I kept thinking something real bad's going to happen. And it didn't, so that's good. But yeah. I didn't... It was one of those things where, when you're watching a live... Something that you think is like, a guy like walking across a tightrope with no net. Like, you're like, okay, if something bad happens, this is going to be real bad.
Yeah.
That's all. I was just in a constant cringe waiting for the bad thing to happen. And thankfully it didn't.
Glad that that Bob Knight in Indiana were able to bury the hatchet sort of like this in Indiana, have him come back and Bob Knight be willing to go back.
That's, yeah. I'm glad we've gotten past the era of the Bob Knights of the world, though.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Definitely glad that we are no longer doing that style of coaching.
Yes.
But also glad that those two entities are able to put things to the side. Because the way that ended like, ooh, oh, wow. This is wild.
Well, yeah. And understand, I mean, he's choking people. He's come on.
People are trying, Bob. Like, you don't see him out in public as a student and be like, hey, Bobby, what's up? Like that. What did you think was going to happen? Like, you can't, don't do that.
No.
Don't be antagonistic for the sake of being antagonistic. But yeah, towards the end there, it was rough.
No, you can, be better than that.
Yes.
Bob Knight, don't be.
Well,
no.
We'll disagree on this one.
No, let's be better than that. You can't, you have to accept that. That's part of being who you are. That's part of life. If everyone that antagonized everyone else over the course, this stuff happened, you're going to end up in jail. You're going to end up. No, can't be doing that.
We've got to stop being antagonistic for no other reason than trying to aggravate somebody, because we know that if they do something to us, it is going to be more of an issue for them than it is for us.
Okay, I'm with you, but just know people are going to do that anyway.
I understand that, but
you got to be prepared
both
for
are
that.
true.
You got to be
both are true.
prepared.
You have to be prepared for it, and collectively we've got to stop.
And there's plenty of stuff that isn't that with Bobby Knight anyway.
Yeah.
So it's not like that was the issue.
Well, that was the straw.
Yeah, but there were plenty of other situations that built up over the years. The other more important issue though from Saturday and Bobby Knight's thing. How old is Isaiah Thomas?
Isaiah Michael's age, so like late 50s, close to 60?
I mean, Isaiah Thomas.
I'm going to go 57?
Let's just find this out. Okay, Isaiah Thomas is...
Yeah, I'm going to go 57, final answer.
58.
Ah!
Okay. He'll turn 59 in the end of April.
Mm-hmm.
This man looks 20? He has not aged.
I'm telling you, man, get to the hair store and get you some of that yellow butter. Get you some of that African shea butter, man.
I mean,
moisturize.
you look older, and you use African shea butter.
I do.
And you look a lot older than Isaiah.
I do.
I mean, I know they say black don't crack, and
It
that's
don't,
true
though.
in some situations. But
This is one.
But there's other situations in which that is not true. But this is one where it's definitely true.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see him walking Bobby Knight out? He looked. I swear he looked like
They had to say Isaiah. I was like, that dude looks like Isaiah, but it can't be Isaiah.
that
Must be
child?
Isaiah's son or something like that. Like, no, that's
Isaiah's
Isaiah Thomas.
grandson. Like
Wait,
what is? He looks phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
This dude, and he has lived I mean, there's been a lot going on with Isaiah.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like he's lived a stress-free life. I mean, it's not like he's been out there just doing nothing.
Mm-hmm.
He's had some issues.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of issues behind the scenes.
A whole bunch of them.
A lot of stress.
You don't see it, man.
He looks, I mean, again, for real, though, he looks,
How would you say Isaiah Thomas is?
for real.
Yes.
I look like I look at this picture, like late 30s, maybe?
Yeah, 37, 38
Yeah,
is
like-
what I was thinking.
What is that? I mean, this is crazy. Wow, man. There's a certain type of individual that just can carry it, can carry that late age situation, and it's not bad, not bad at all. You know, Barry Sanders did that for a long time, and then he finally hit him. It hit him a few years ago, and he said, "Oh, yep."
If Tiger keeps his hat on,
Yeah,
it's cool. The hat comes off, it's like, oh, okay. But hat on Tiger looks really young.
No question. I mean, but there's certain guys, even a guy like Kareem. Kareem doesn't look 75 or whatever he is.
Yeah.
Did you know Kareem he's written a Sherlock Holmes mystery?
In the canon of Sherlock Holmes, or just Sherlock Holmes style?
It is a Sherlock Holmes book. It's Holmes and Mycroft.
Really?
Yeah. It's a by another hand is what they call it, Sherlock Holmes.
Oh no, I did not know
Yes.
that. Got to get that.
In the bookstore, I was like, it said Sherlock Holmes. I forget the name of it, but it's like Sherlock Holmes something. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and I'm like, there can't be more than one Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
That's not a common name.
That's not a pretty.
We're not making a lot of those.
That's not a common name. I was like, and Kareem's written some books, so I mean, it's not his first book to write either. But is he writing a Sherlock Holmes? I sure enough, yeah, absolutely. Kareem is out there, man. Kareem is a Renaissance
Get it, man.
Kareem is a Renaissance man. Phenomenal. God bless him. Yeah, go check that out.
Okay.
I love a good mystery, so I'm on top of that. When we return, we'll get back into what happened yesterday. The discussion with Zach Kleiman, which was interesting to notice. The Grizzlies are continuing their improbably successful season thus far. We'll discuss that big game tomorrow and a big week ahead for the Tigers too. In hour number 3, all of that still to come. Real Sports Talk Sports 5696-187.7.
The construction reduction event is on at Wolf Chase Honda. Exciting changes are in the works and inventory must be reduced. Get the best deals right now on all remaining 2019 Hondas while they last. Every new car, every certified, every used car, price to go. Get pre-approved now at wolfchasehonda.com. Wolf Chase Honda is expanding and our prices are dropping. Don't miss these savings. Act now. This huge construction reduction event ends soon.
For the best lineup of quality, fuel-efficient, and fun-to-drive vehicles, get to Wolf Chase Honda and Wolf Chase Nissan. Over 1,000 new certified and pre-owned vehicles in one great location. Catch the savings now during our huge model year-end sales event. Score an amazing deal at Wolf Chase Honda and Wolf Chase Nissan and get to the game in style at Germantown Road and Highway 64. Family-owned since 1981.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
Bartlett Small Engine has been serving quality power equipment since 1970. They have a full line of power equipment, parts, and services for most makes and models. Bartlett Small Engines has the best brands in the power tool industry: Honda mowers, trimmers, and generators, Steel blowers, trimmers, and chainsaws, Echo trimmers, blowers, and chainsaws, plus quality products from Red Mat and Shindawa. And they're all American made. Bartlett Small Engine is your can-do store. 6780 Summer Avenue. Call 901-386-9779.
Make your day smoking with the Big Green Egg. You can smoke, bake, roast, sear, and grill, all with a lifetime warranty. Ceramic never rusts, and the easy, accurate temperature control gives you the greatest range of any grill. Make your next grill your last with the Big Green Egg. Available at these nearby locations: Hamilton Fireplace Shop, 4462 Summer Avenue; Germantown Hardware Company, 2083 South Germantown Road; Garden Spas and Pool, 9393 Poplar Avenue; and East Memphis Ace Hardware, 5143 Quince Road.
Join the Midday Show and Johnny Radio at Top Gun Shooting Range this Thursday from 10 to 3. Top Gun is located at 2770 Witten Road, right off Summer Avenue. If you haven't been yet, you need to come check this place out. We'll be giving away 2 $50 Gould's gift certificates for your Valentine and a full automatic gun experience, which is getting to shoot 4 of Top Gun's fully automatic guns for free. That's this Thursday at Top Gun Shooting Range. Come shoot with us.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
Got something you want to get off your chest?
You better have a backup plan.
Want to join the conversation?
Someone needs to tell him he has to grow up.
Join us on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255 or the First Bank text line at 67129. We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hurt. This hour is brought to you by Acura Memphis. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
I've got a name. I've got a name. Like a singing bird and the croaking toad. I've got a name. I've got a name. And I carry it with me like my daddy did. But I'm living the dream that he kept here. Moving me down the highway. Rolling me down the highway.
Hour number 3, Soft Rock Tuesday. Yeah! Peter and CJ with you, Sports 56 Mornings. Woo! Getting you set. Got a big one tonight coming up. Speaking of college basketball, Ole Miss, Mississippi State tonight, 5:30. So
Mississippi State in the tournament right now. When I looked, last I looked, they were
that's
first 4 out.
Right there. They're right in that. They're right there in that outside discussion. Boy, the bubble is so. It's real, extended, and bubbly this year. It's very, very out there. It's an interesting one. Big one, though. Big one tonight for both those teams. Obviously, the Egg Bowl. It's not the Egg Bowl when it's in basketball, though. It's the Egg Crate, the omelet.
I like Egg Crate. Let's go with Egg Crate.
Yeah, something along those lines. The Egg Carton. I don't know. It's something. Tonight should be a lot of fun. We'll have it for you here. Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7. In the meantime. Big day on the program. We've talked about lots of different stuff happening, including a discussion about what Zach Kleiman had to say yesterday, and a rare opportunity for the Grizzlies Executive Vice President of Basketball Operations to speak. We'll get back into that a little bit coming up. Also, we'll talk about a big game tomorrow for the Grizzlies against the Blazers, the final game before the All-Star break, and one that is definitely – could be huge. Could be huge from a playoff point of view. There's no question about that. We talked a little college hoops. A bit of news yesterday. Tyrese Halliburton out for the rest of the season. The Iowa State prospect will miss the remainder of the year. Fractured left wrist. He is a lottery pick, I think, for me. I don't know what the latest mock drafts and all that stuff are.
I saw one had him at 6.
I think that seems. I mean, I think he's a top 10 pick. I really like him. He's one of my favorite prospects in this. And all things considered, this is a draft that is not spectacular, but in terms of whatever spectacularness you can get from that, I think he's up there. He's very, very good. So kudos to him, and sad that he's going to miss the rest of the year, but he'll be fine. Mm-hmm. Iowa State may not be, but. He will be. Yeah. There's no question about that. Also, we talked about the changes in the Major League Baseball playoffs that may be coming. The Andre Iguodala returned to the Bay Area as the Heat knocked off the Warriors, and he was honored there. Also, Raptors winning 15th straight win. So they knocked off the Red Hot Timberwolves, 137-126. D'Angelo Russell made his debut for the super hot Wolves, who had won one in a row.
What a contrast.
Woo!
Timberwolves went almost a month without winning the game, and the Raptors haven't lost a game in a month.
Yeah, I know. But then the Wolves did win, and that changed everything. Or so we thought. It turns out
we didn't think that. You didn't think that. A lot of the people like we thought the Wolves were going to do anything else.
Turns out that it did not. In fact, yeah, I know. It's who could have seen it coming?
Everybody,
literally everyone.
Literally everybody.
I'm just getting this news in. Literally everyone saw that coming. Okay.
Which game did the Wolves win?
The Clippers.
The Clippers game. See, that's the one I thought they would lose.
Yeah, everyone thought they'd lose every game.
Yeah.
What do you mean the one? They would.
I thought they were going into March without a win.
Yeah, they very easily could have.
Look at all these L's on their schedule. My God,
it's a lot of L's.
Yeah, we thought tomorrow against Charlotte was going to be the win that the Wolves got. They got Charlotte at home. That's when I thought the win was coming.
Well,
they got a lot of L's on here though, like a lot of long L streaks on this schedule.
Yeah.
They're not getting into the tournament, Peter. They're nowhere near the bubble.
No, I don't think so. It was funny that you said it, because one of the things that we talked about in the discussion with Zach Kleiman, I think it was Jeff Calkins who asked him about reuniting the Duke team, that 15 Duke team, with all the acquisitions, Justice Winslow, Tyus Jones, Grayson Allen, et cetera. Mm-hmm. And he says, that wasn't necessarily part of the plan. Per se, he said, but I do think we're well positioned to make a deep run in the NCAA tournament. Pretty funny. I was like, okay.
All right.
It's like, okay.
All right. Got a humor.
I like that. Got
a humor. Got a sense of humor.
I also talked to him a little bit about the ridiculous pick swaps that he had with Daryl Morey. In the Jordan Bell Bruno Caboclo trade, the Grizzlies have a pick swap. And he says, his quote was, "This pick swap is unique to say the least. We currently hold the lesser of Miami's and Dallas." Get ready for this, okay? Everybody take a deep breath, listen in. We currently hold the lesser of Miami's and Dallas's 2023 second-round picks, and if Houston's second-round pick in 2023 is a better second than the lesser of Miami's and Dallas's, then we have the right to swap and get the best of all those seconds, so long as the Houston second is not the 31st or 32nd pick in the draft.
Oh, it makes sense. I got you.
So then I asked, how long did it take to negotiate that? And he said, not as long as you might think. So, yes, that's a...
So they get the best of Houston's second-round picks.
No. They hold the lesser of Dallas's or Miami's 2023 second round. If the lesser of those two is still
but Houston has those picks, correct?
No, the Grizzlies have those picks. Houston will have their own pick.
Okay.
But the Grizzlies can swap if Houston's pick is better than those.
Hey, you know what? You can stop talking.
Then they can swap as long as it's not in the top 2 of the second round in that year. Then you can't swap or you could swap them, but you wouldn't want to, because why would you want to swap a pick that is worse than it? Doesn't make any sense, right? So that's the swap.
Nope, I'm out. You got it.
You don't want to talk about protected second round pick swaps?
No, not if it's that complicated. No, I do not. You got it. I've already forgotten all the teams involved. I'm assuming the Grizzlies and a bunch of other teams.
So yes, he was. He did. Zach Kleiman did sit down with folks and chat. He had 2 different sessions yesterday, and the session that it was a sort of a sit down, more detailed session for one group of media, and had a chance to kind of sit for 30 minutes or so and get some more overall perspective from him. Just hadn't had a chance to talk to the guy in quite a while on the record since media day. Mm-hmm. So it's been several months, and his asked him his overall perspective of the deadline, and says that while we're well aware that we leveraged our cap space, we pulled ourselves out of the free agency market this summer. We thought that this was the right thing to do. He said for us to add a player who we believe in as a key piece, as a fit to what we're building going forward, that was plan A. That was the deal that we were hoping to get done. So he was very upfront about the idea that they knew they were taking themselves out of free agency this year, or taking themselves out of big-time free agency, because they can still use their mid-level exception, stuff like that, to sign players. So, but they're taking themselves out of the market for a guy like a Brandon Ingram or something like that. You have no chance now. Not that they were going to get him anyway, because he's a restricted free agent, but they can't even make an offer sheet at this point. But they said it's okay. And then the same thing, that space that they had last year, like the trade exception that allowed them to take Iguodala, which ended up turning into all this stuff. They're not in a position now in their rebuild where they really want to focus on that stuff at this stage. So they're not going to. They've kind of, I don't know, they're in a little bit of a different phase, but felt like that this was the best use of that space and of that potential money they went through. And I'm sure they gamed out lots of different ideas about how this thing could go, what teams might be needing to open up space, what teams might be willing to pay for that. And then the picks that you'd end up getting, would they end up getting you a player like Justice Winslow? Again, remember, you're trying to build a core that can be together and grow together. Mm-hmm. So the sooner you can add somebody to that core, I mean, if you add a rookie next year or the year after, if you have a pick in 2021 or 2022, and you're trying to add that to your core, well, now you got to wait. It's so you can understand there's a little more appeal to adding someone right away, especially if you think that person is a great fit, the way that they really think that Winslow is a perfect fit for the group. So it makes sense as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, it makes sense to me also. And we talk about on the court that they are way ahead of schedule in this rebuild standpoint. And one of the things that can trip teams up is having a timetable in mind for how long a rebuild should take, and then not adjusting when they see, hey, this rebuild is going faster than anticipated, or it's taking a bit longer than anticipated. It looks like this front office has adjusted and has looked around and said, oh, okay, John Morant, Dylan Brooks, Jaren Jackson Jr., those are leaders in the locker room. We can now allow players like Solomon Hill and Jay Crowder, we can move those types of players along because they are ahead from a maturity standpoint in their growth and in their progression. Oh, okay, so now we've got free agency coming up. We got a bunch of cap space. Why don't we just use that cap space to go out and get somebody and not risk missing out on a Brandon Ingram in free agency? Why don't we just go ahead and do that and go ahead and get them paired? You are right. It usually, not for John, not for Jaron or Brandon Clark, but usually it takes a while for rookies to come in and be impactful and impact winning. We talked about that some yesterday. So if you get a rookie who you really like, how long is it going to take him to adjust to things like the game and the coverage schemes and everything that goes into being a quality NBA player? Usually a year, 2 years. So you don't want to wait that long. You go ahead and pick Justice Winslow with this team, and now you're ready to start making legit pushes. Also in the future, you have a nice assortment of draft picks, and you can go out there and trades, via trades, package those picks to go out and get somebody else if necessary. So they're in a great place, and I like the fact that this front office is so forward thinking and so able to adapt and change whatever the plan is once they see the results. Like, they look at the results, they see the results, and it's, hey, this is how we need to move now. We know what we were planning on doing. We know how we were planning on moving, but we are, in this case, we are ahead of schedule, so we need to adjust what we need to be doing. And I like that about this front office.
The Andre Iguodala situation, he spoke to that and said, all I'll say is the entire time we were in communication with Andre's camp, those communications were fine. We were on the same page throughout. At the end of the day, we're very happy Andre's in a situation where he has the opportunity to compete this year. We're happy for him. It is a loss losing Solomon Hill and Jay Crowder in connection with the deal. Both of them were fantastic in our locker room, and I think they made a significant impact on the court as well. It stings to lose them, and that's not necessarily something we wanted to do per se. But we're happy they're also in a situation where they're joining a team that has a chance to compete this year along with Andre. At the end of the day, all parties came out okay. Took a little of the sting out of that story, which, frankly, you should. I mean, as much fun as it was, and like I said, I'm here for all of that. That's great. The reality is a little bit less exciting. That this thing was pretty much on pace with, it was always going in this direction. It got a little bit iffy at the end because I think, Andre Iguodala, and perhaps not even Andre, but his people, wanted to try to make sure that everything was going to go the way it needed to go and that he was going to be in an appealing spot because, as you saw, he signed an extension, only the fourth extended trade that's ever happened in the league. So he was in a position where he wanted to commit and get some money longer term from somewhere. So it had to be the right team, it had to be the right situation. Well, there you go. He's now got Miami signed up for the next 2 years, team option for that second year. That you could understand, seeing that, why he would want to be sure about the team that he would go to, wanting that extension, because he wasn't going to sign an extension if he'd been traded to a team that wasn't appealing to him. So it's just like anyone else. I would say as much as the people were irritated or offended by the comments about Memphis, I think that was more about the situation that Memphis was in rather than Memphis as a city. It was just about rebuilding and are you going to play and all that stuff. That wasn't about the city of Memphis or anything like that. I don't think that anyone should take it in that sort of an insult. He's just being real. He was joking around. People got mad because he said he was joking around with his wife. Said, "Oh yeah, probably trade me to Memphis or something." Because he's just thinking about some random city. He's just like, well, they could have said Milwaukee, could have said Charlotte, because whatever. He's just some city that isn't the Bay. Everyone got their panties in a bunch about that, but I don't think he meant that in any particularly derogatory way. Specific to Memphis, just
there's nothing wrong with looking up and realizing, oh, my career is almost up, and wanting to go to a place that's going to maximize what you want to do. Everybody's not Vince Carter. People aren't just running around out here at, how old is Vince? 38, 30,
43. Yeah,
he's 43.
He's 43.
Everybody's not just out there running around just to be playing, and just to have the camaraderie and the fellowship. Andre Iguodala looked up and realized, hey, I'm 35. I don't got much longer at this. Let me get someplace where I can get in the playoffs and be a legit threat in the playoffs. And for the Grizzlies, got a team full of early 20-year-olds. That is what you're trying to do. You're trying to get them playing together as much as humanly possible. You want them to grow together and get all of the minutes you can give them. A 35-year-old player, Andre Iguodala, doesn't fit your timetable. You brought that up several times. So, everybody came out on top.
Yeah.
He's 43.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
43.
Okay.
I mean, what do you want? That's what he is. He's 43. He's dude's amazing. And he's as I said at the time when he was here, it's one of the most graceful easing into the elder stages of his career and one of the most graceful. I don't know that there's ever been a superstar, and Vince Carter was definitely a superstar for many, many years. There's ever been a superstar that has so willingly and gracefully eased into a contributing role, a supporting role, and then even beyond a supporting role, just merely a mentor role, but then can still step up and do a few things here and there, and just wants to play and is happy to be part of the Hawks and help those young players the way he helped, the Grizzlies, and just he doesn't need the money. Guy's great with money. He's made lots of money, and he's an excellent business person, so he's made more. His money's made more money. He really does enjoy playing the game and wants to do it as long as he possibly can. And most guys that are that big, when they start to lose it, it becomes a problem because they can't accept a bench role. They can't accept a smaller role. They can't accept that. And he's just been phenomenal at doing so. It's a real credit to him. It's a real credit to him, man. When I grow up, I want to be like Vince Carter.
My God. Yes. Want to be all of that.
The only one of the few, maybe the only players older than me in the league.
No, he's got to be the only one. Is there?
I'm 40. There might be one other 40.
There's not another 40-year-old.
Probably not. But man, he's something else. He also talked about Zach Lemon also talked about the idea that this is a team that is now competitive for potentially for free agents in 2021 in a way that has never been the case. And with that core group being locked up now, potentially, we'll see what happens with D'Anthony Melton in restricted free agency. But I assume they're going to bring him back. There's no reason for them not to, and he's been very good for them. It's something that they want to do. So then if you bring him back, you pretty much got your core group locked up for at least 2 more years. That with a 2 deep, that's all pretty young. And then that opens up that space in 2021 for something else. If this team, think about the team. Let's say best case scenario. Let's say this year they make the playoffs, 8 seed. Maybe they play well against the Lakers or the Clippers or whoever, and make it interesting. Maybe win a game or something like that. But like make a statement like, hey, okay, this team's pretty good. Okay. The next year, you see the continued growth, and they get a little bit better. And maybe they listen. They might get better and somehow miss the playoffs next year. It's going to be very competitive in the West. Who knows? But let's say they just continue to be a better team. Let's say they, you could see the positive movement, whatever it may be. By that point, and maybe John Morant makes an All-Star team, or maybe something like that. By that point in 2021, they now have a little bit of buzz of like, okay, this is a young. Maybe you could grow this. Maybe you could be part of this thing, and all of a sudden, a much better free agent class. You could make a case that it's time to jump on board. You could make that case. Whether that'll happen or not, I don't know. But I think Memphis could potentially be in the discussion with a tier and a group of free agents that they have not ever been in. The Chandler Parsons thing was the closest thing to a star that the Grizzlies have ever come close to signing in free agency. And the cost of doing that not only was $94 million, but it was a physical that was not particularly thorough. It was a major debacle when all was said and done. And that was the best that the Grizzlies have ever done. And that was that one summer when everybody had money and all that. We're talking about a whole different situation if it all kind of plays out the way that it might.
In a sport where everybody, thanks to the exceptions, has the same amount of money to spend on everybody else. What makes you different? So you got the mid-level, you got the mid-level exception and other exceptions. All right, other teams have that as well, which means everybody's going to be able to spend same amount of money on player X. Why should player X choose you over someplace else? That's why being in what we might think while being in New York or Miami or LA, it has a different sort of benefit to it. It's not because they can pay more money. It is because when we look at the tiebreakers, if everybody's spending more money, where would you rather be rich and famous at? You know, for some people it is, you know, in one of those types of cities, those tropical cities, or in the case of New York, a major global city for you to build your brand. Like, that makes sense. Why else what other tiebreakers do you use when everybody else can pay the same amount of money? Well, what's the locker room like? Like, what are the guys like in the locker room? What's your medical team like? Do you guys, how competitive are you? Is there a star who can make me better? And the Grizzlies right now check off all of those boxes. What's the coaching staff like? Am I going to get along with the coach? What type of system does he run? Taylor Jenkins' offense is suitable for players who want to just get in and make plays. And you know you can, if you're doing the right thing and you're in the right spots, you're going to get the ball because that's how that ball movement works. So, okay, now that is another tiebreaker thing. And you're right. They are going to be in contention for a class of free agents that they hadn't been in before. And that's huge. And that's great because you get the better free agents you get, the better pieces you fit around this core, hopefully the further you get in the playoffs and the better your franchise does. It's huge.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. It could be. So we'll you know, obviously all that's going to have to wait and see, but that's certainly part of it. He did confirm, also Kleiman confirmed that Grayson Allen's out for the year, as first reported by Coach K. So good job breaking news there, Coach K. But they do expect full recovery, no problem there. Expect full recovery from Justice Winslow. He did stipulate that he is confident that Winslow will be back this season. Relatively soon, you know, I would imagine. Like I mean, my guess would be, you know, a little after the All-Star break, maybe right after, but that may be a little optimistic. But maybe early March as a realistic, like they're motivated and they want to get him involved because again, the quicker he can get involved on the court, the quicker you can start to build that chemistry and connection. And you mentioned the system and the coaching and all that. Part of what the Grizzlies do and part of the appeal of what they have is their ability to work together and their ability to allow their guys to freelance a little bit and to have some improvisational calls on the court. The better you know each other and the more chemistry you have on the court, the more often you play together, the better those are going to be. That you know what a guy's going to do, you know where a guy's going to cut, you know when he's going to cut to the basket, when he's going to fade out to the corner, you know what guys are going to be able to do. That's huge. And you're seeing, over the last month or so, and we've talked about this before, early in the season, I think, Ja Morant was ahead of some of his teammates in terms of what he was going to do and where he was going to pass the ball. And there were a few turnovers because guys weren't ready for it. They didn't know that he was able to make these kinds of plays. Like you weren't necessarily ready. You're standing, all the way weak side, way off the action. You're not necessarily dialed in. And all of a sudden, here comes the ball just come firing over at you, and you're what in the like you didn't know he could see you over there. You're driving to the basket, and the ball comes quick. You didn't know he could throw it to you that quickly. Like you didn't know these angles are going to be there.
Broke Giannis's nose.
I mean, yeah, just kapow. Yeah. So now you kind of know. Yeah, but now you know. Now you know. And now you're getting used to it, and you're seeing guys. You saw that the game the other day with Josh Jackson fired a pass to Jonas. Kapow, hit him in the face because he wasn't ready. He didn't know. He didn't have that same pass comes from Ja. He catches it. No problem. He knows where it's coming from. It takes time to get those. So the quicker you can get Winslow in the mix, the better for everybody.
Just think about how long it took them to be able to do pick and roll with Jaren and Ja. Like month and a half before we got that consistently. And now it's one of the things they go to close games. Like playing with people helps build that chemistry, makes you better. So the sooner you can get a player in there, the better.
No question about that. Let's take a little intervention here and come back and we'll discuss. Yeah. But during the break, I got to talk to you about apples, and I'm intervening in your life. We're going to get this going. We got other folks we got other folks here on the text line, by the way, that some wine sap apples, tart apple for you. We have some other options out there. I got to have a little talk.
I didn't know it was an apple intervention. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna set some, maybe later in the week. I'll just set a few up here for you. Okay. And just let you. Now your taste buds are jacked up, so I'm not sure. you're the right person to fully appreciate. But I would like to set it out for you to understand the differences with the tartness and the sweetness and the.
Okay.
There's so many different things that are going on, man.
I just grab apples. All right.
Don't just grab apples. Okay. No, no. It's totally different.
Okay.
It's like if you go to like Central Barbecue, like you have wings. If I put wings out of Central Barbecue, the different spicing and different flavors, they taste different. It's not, wing's a wing. No, a wing is not a wing. Some wings, are sweet. Some wings have the heat. Some wings have all the dry spice, the rub. You can go to Central Barbecue and get those wings, by the way. They're great, wonderful. 4 locations, fantastic. Go there. Better than apples, as much as I love apples. But I'm just saying, you wouldn't go to Central and be like, just give me wings. They'll be like, what kind of wings do you want? Because there's different types. Same thing with, you wouldn't just go to the store and be like, give me some apples. No. What kind of apples do you like? Get there.
The apple kind.
They're all apple.
The apple flavor.
They're all apple flavor. There's more to it. We'll return here momentarily. Sports 56 Mornings. Peter and CJ, Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
If you need glass replaced, there's only one name you need to know: Benswanger Glass, the largest full-service glass company in the U.S. They've been an industry leader for over 125 years. For all your residential, commercial, or auto glass needs, Benswanger Glass is the name you need to know. 24-hour emergency service for all commercial customers, plus a nationwide warranty on all professionally installed glass. Visit Benswanger Glass in Midtown, located at 340 South Hollywood, across from the Liberty Bowl. Visit their website, benswangerglass.com. Benswanger Glass.
Farmers Insurance knows that when you're in the car and that song comes on, yes, that's the one, you have no choice but to pull out your imaginary drumsticks and smash those cymbals and stomp on that kick pedal, which unfortunately is the accelerator pedal. And we covered it. Talk to a farmer's agent who knows a thing or two because they've seen a thing or two.
Call Chad Gatlin at 901-235-1176 or get a fast quote at memphisfarmers.com.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Got something you want to get off your chest?
You better have a backup plan.
Want to join the conversation?
Someone needs to tell him he has to grow up.
Join us on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255 or the First Bank text line at 67129.
Sundays and Mondays are special at the Butcher Shop, celebrating over 35 years of serving the Mid-South by giving a big thank you to you, their loyal customers. You can come in, relax, watch your favorite games, and enjoy hand-cut steaks along with a premium bar. Sunday and Monday nights from 5 until 8:30, you can get select entrees for $25. That includes a salad, baked potato, and bread, and you don't have to pick one, you get all 3. Some of those entrees are 10-ounce New York strip steak, slow-roasted prime rib, Atlantic salmon with dill sauce, marinated grilled chicken breast, grilled boneless pork chops, and crab stuffed shrimp. Plus, all appetizers and desserts are 20% off. Don't forget, Hamburger Friday every Friday from 11 to 2. It's the best. The Butcher Shop, always a Memphis tradition. Call 901-757-4244, 901-757-4244 for more information, or just stop in at 107 South Germantown Parkway in Cordova.
You'll see the dedication in every single step. You'll see it in the smiles when smiles are hard to get. You'll see it in the little things that add up to success. The caring and passion are the things that we love best.
Wolf Chase Limb Brace is your Mid-South provider for orthotics and prosthetics. They are an ABC accredited facility and their practitioners are ABC certified. At Wolf Chase Limb Brace, their services include artificial limbs, legs and arms, braces of all kinds, and custom molded inserts. You can call them today at 901-507-7821 for their location on Highway 64 in between Germantown Parkway and Appling Road, or visit them at their new location in Jackson, Tennessee. That number is 731-660-5900, or visit them on the web at wolfchaselimbembrace.com.
Wolf Chase Limb and Brace.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hurt. Once again, our Peter and CJ.
There's nothing that 100 men or more could ever do. I bless the rains down in Africa. We're gonna take some time.
You missed your boy over there singing, too. He was getting it. Loud.
Who are you?
This your jam?
Yeah, this is one to go to.
I mean, this is a classic right here.
It is.
I must do what's right.
This classic soft rock.
Kilimanjaro rise.
It's great. It's a great song. Great.
I'm still learning the lyrics, but the chorus.
Weezer has a nice cover of this.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. Just listen to this version. Don't forget about Weezer.
Check out the Weezer version.
Nah, don't do that. Don't waste your time. This is a man who can't tell the difference between all these apples. He's sitting here talking about no.
My hearing is fine.
Is it? I don't know.
Yes.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure it is. Taste is not right. Your smell is not there.
Your taste bone is not connected to your hair bone.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
It's all connected.
No, it's not.
You probably see all kinds of things. Well, I don't even know I don't know what's going on with you. Weather report out of Chicago. All-Star Weekend coming up. Snowstorm could drop several inches of snow on Chicago, followed by sub-zero temperatures for the next little bit. So that'll be great for All-Star Weekend. Everyone's gonna enjoy that. Probably.
That's exciting. Chance is gonna be out there performing, so people be there. They like Chance in Chicago.
Yeah, I mean they should be used to the.
He could get the streets hot.
Somebody's got to get something hot.
Can Chance get the streets hot? I don't think Chance can.
Again, All-Star Weekend being in February, you really should just do it in warm weather spots. You don't want to go to a cold. You don't. Come on, man.
You're thinking it's indoor. It's an indoor sport though.
It is, but I mean, there's lots of things that you still got to go outdoors at some point. Oh, also, the full XFL ratings are in over the weekend, and it's very good. All the games did extremely good numbers, especially in the very coveted 18 to 49 demographic, where they
that's us
beat everybody, including Rockets, Lakers, Golden State, Sixers, Bucks, the golf absolutely destroyed the golf North.
We're golf. Oh, of course, yeah, we are. Golf.
I mean, golf had
golf 2 weeks off.
Yeah, it's Pebble Beach, man. It's one of the more fun tournaments.
Okay.
Destroyed Duke, North Carolina, Kentucky, Tennessee. I mean, absolutely crushed Kentucky, Tennessee. In the key 18 to 49, had 3 times the 18 to 49-year-olds in those demographics. On top of that, they had 20 times the betting that the AAF did in its first week.
Wow.
20 times the betting that they had. On top of that, their sales were up 20% more than they expected. The attendance was higher than they expected, and their 2 best ticket selling markets are not going to be hosting games until this weekend. So week 2 should be okay with that. This, to me, again, I think all of the leagues, the old XFL, AAF, everyone had a pretty good first week.
Mm-hmm.
It's how you go into that second week. How much are you going to lose? You're probably going to lose some people just because a lot of people tuned in for the
novelty
factor. Exactly right. You're just getting that introductory kind of thing. Once that new car smell is worn off, now it's like, all right, well, let's see what this product really is. That's the next challenge for them. But I mean, they've exceeded all early expectations, and I have to say, all signs from the XFL early on are indicative of a league that's certainly in good shape. Almost ran out of beer in Houston.
Oh, wow. It helps when you build your house of bricks and not of straw. It helps when you take your time, so you can handle the adversity as it comes. The AAF was rushed because they wanted to get out in front of this thing before the XFL had it. They didn't want to be competing with football fans with another spring football league, and we saw what happened to them, the XFL, with that extra year. And we know exactly where the money's coming from. Vince McMahon is able to put a bunch of money behind it and also use his wrestling empire to facilitate television slots with Fox. Like, hey, we'll let you get this WWE, but one of the things we need you to do is to air our games on Saturdays and Sundays when they play, so you're not having to really go out and hunt and search, and you can pull in more casual fans because it is just on the TV in an accessible spot. So this XFL thing, good week, like you said. Let's see if it can continue to grow.
Yeah. I mean, I think the at least you can see the idea of what they're trying to do and the differentiation. I think it's there's stuff that they're going to have to figure out. But I think the point that you made was important too. That it's just easier to find it.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be on Fox. It's going to be on ABC. It's going to be ESPN. It's not going to be on some digital. It's not going to be way down the line on CBS Sports Network or whatever. It's going to be on an outlet that you can see. They got a better TV deal. One of the other things I read this weekend was about their insurance. We talked about how difficult it was. It's very difficult to get insurance in the game of football now. NFL is struggling. It's obviously an inherently risky sport, and now that we know more about long-term damage and head injuries and everything else, that becomes even more problematic for insurers. They say, I don't want to do this. What am I going to be on the hook for? But because they took the extra year to get it ready, they were able to negotiate a much more favorable insurance cost-wise with basically the only insurer that will insure football anymore. There's only one really that does it. They were able to negotiate a better deal, and they were able to get that done. The AAF really struggled to do that. Mm-hmm. You remember how Orlando had to go to Georgia to work because of the workman's comp rules and insurance and all that. They had to drive up or kick the bus up to Georgia to actually get their practice in and then come back, like stuff like that. Just, Bush League, the difference between what was obviously maybe a good idea, maybe something that was, but half-baked versus this thing, which is much more, much further along, much better thought out, much better plan. It may not be enough, but it's at least you can say they've given it a really good run at this point.
Another example of being first, not necessarily being great, being good for business. You got to make sure that you've got all of your ducks in a row. Make sure that everything is lined up the right way and be stable before you go out there and try and make more. And this is just another example of that. I think if the AAF had continued, because I feel like when they announced it, they were shooting for this spring to start. And then when Vince McMahon and the XFL announced they were coming back, they're like, oh, no. They kind of panicked and said, hey, we can't be competing with these guys. Let's go ahead and put ours out there first. What's the worst that can happen? Well, the insurance, the infrastructure of the league top down wasn't all the way set. I think they had a great idea with the gambling aspects of it, but they didn't have it ready to go. And then on top of that, you throw in the fact that because they rushed it and was like, no, we're going to do it this year in 2019, that the TV deals didn't come through for them the way that they thought they were. The XFL took their time and have a better product right now than what the AAF was able to give us because the AAF rushed through it.
I think also some of the rules changes that we've seen have been mostly positive, and I think you could even see the NFL adopt the kickoff rule. Which
I really like the kickoff. Well, I didn't think I would.
It becomes, in watching it, like I didn't know how it would look. Having the two sides 5 yards apart at the 30-yard line, I think. I didn't know how it would kind of – you could sort of visualize it, but you can't really – until you actually see it, and you didn't know exactly how it was going to play out. But one of the coaches, maybe Kevin Gilbride, was talking about how it he says it just becomes like a stretch run. Basically becomes like an offensive play, a scrimmage play. You block as if it's a run. You can pull, you trap, you can do other – run blocking schemes off that. It's just on a much wider scale because you got 10 dudes that you have to deal with as opposed to 5. But it is kind of like that when you think about it like that because you're lined up, you're fairly close.
I didn't see that. This is news to me. I didn't see anybody pulling, but that is intriguing now.
You could
you could pull, and what do you do when your guy pulls? Do you vacate that part of the field? Because if you do, then now we've got a cutback lane. Like, this is fun.
Yeah, so now you've got that opportunity to run it like that. If you run what is equivalent of a stretch play, like then you try to cut back. Can you if you treat it as a run play, you can block differently. Like it's a different kind of thing. And because guys are so close together, you can actually prepare for that. And you can, rather than just being chaotic, you can. I think it was something like 91% of the kickoffs were returned first week. Which is way up from the NFL where guys aren't wanting to return, and same thing in college where you call that fair catch. They just don't. you don't want to have that return anymore, for the reasons that we've talked about. So that rule, I think, is excellent. I think the lack of an onside kick for, a 4th and 15 from the 25 rather than an onside kick that gives.
I was on the hands team. Like that is just, we're running down there trying to obliterate somebody.
Well, but that's the thing. You can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Now that because they've set up it used to be that you could just load up 8, 9 dudes and just go.
All right, everybody get ready to get hit. Let's go.
But now that was a dangerous situation.
Mm-hmm.
But from a strategic standpoint, at least you had a chance to get an onside kick because you could blow out the whole side and it would bounce and you'd have a chance. Now when it's evenly balanced, 5 and 5, you can only put 5 on a side. It basically requires just an inordinate amount of luck or ineptitude on the receiving team's part for you to get that. If if somebody just drops the ball and sort of bounces right into your hands, okay, fine. Or if the ball bounces particularly perfectly up, up in the air, that kind of thing. So the onside kick has been kind of legislated out of the game. Well, if you want that to still be a possibility, if you want to still give a team a chance to retain possession, the idea of a 4th and 15 is a good way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe the NFL makes it 4th and 20 or something even harder. But it's still difficult to make that 4th and 15. But if you get it, then you continue the possession as normal. If the other team stops you, then they get the ball where they stopped you. That's great for both sides. So I think that's another one. The 3-point conversion.
Yeah. I didn't see any of those. I didn't see any highlights. There wasn't one in.
I don't think there were any. I think everyone pretty much went for one. The idea though was that you could.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, one of the coaches was talking about how he didn't really understand it until when he got into the game, the mathematics that would be involved. Like if you've got a 12-point, if you're down 12 with about 5 minutes to play, do you kick the field goal knowing that you can then go for 3 on the next one? It's a 2 possess, or do you go for 3 right out of the gate and make it a field goal game where now you can, because then the score there's all these different rules. An 18-point game now is a 2 possession game.
Possibly, you have to get that.
Well, I mean, but it is it is, in the same way we say a 16-point game is a 2 possession game in football, in the NFL or in college, because it is. Now you obviously have to get 2 2-point conversions, but in theory it is. Now you expand that out to 18. Now it's a whole different thing, and that's an intriguing, little tweak, but it
keeps you in the game.
It keeps games close, and the interesting thing about this, unlike the beginning of the XFL or the AAF, the ratings went up throughout the game. The highest rating, the highest quarter hour was the final one.
Really?
So it peaked at like a 4 or something. The overall rating was like a 3.3, but it peaked at like a 4 something at the end of the game. So people were staying with it. That's a good sign. If it started off at like a 5 and then everyone's like drops off and it ends up as a 2, then okay, we might have some problems here. But you're trending up, so I'm cautiously optimistic about where things are. It's just this is. Everything's trending in a good direction for them early on. First week, it's all gone the way that they would have hoped it would have gone.
Yeah. I don't think they could have had a better week. Realistically, a better week.
If it can stick around for longer than a year, maybe next year they add like an impact college player that goes early, like a sophomore or something like that makes that, and there are definitely little avenues for this thing to be even more intriguing.
Yes, there are. But the first week is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree.
First week.
I agree. It's nice. I think it's something different. I appreciate something different. We'll come back and wrap up this edition of Sports 56 Mornings. We'll get you set for a big day here, big day of college basketball. Get you set also for week ahead, not only for Ole Miss, Tennessee Tigers, many others. We'll do that when we continue here in the Family Leisure Studios. Peter and CJ with you. Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7.
Spend your lunch with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy on Sports 56 Middays, delivered by FedEx. Weekdays from 10 to 1 on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
You'll see the dedication in every single step. You'll see it in the smiles, when smiles are hard to get. You'll see it in the little things things that add up to success. The caring and passion are the things that we love best.
Wolf Chase Lemon Brace is your Mid-South provider for orthotics and prosthetics. They are an ABC accredited facility, and their practitioners are ABC certified. At Wolf Chase Lemon Brace, their services include artificial limbs, legs and arms, braces of all kinds, and custom molded inserts. You can call them today at 901-507-7821 for their location on Highway 64 in between Germantown Parkway and Appling Road, or visit them at their new location in Jackson, Tennessee. That number is 731-660-5900, or visit them on the web at wolfchaselemonbrace.com.
Dedicated our life to yours. Wolf Chase Limb and Brace.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
I'm Brian Elder. It's been a particularly rainy season, and that stain on your ceiling isn't getting any smaller, exposing your family to the possibility of mold. Let me come take a look. 867-0303. Our technicians are Owens Corning Platinum Preferred, so don't let someone tell you that it has to be replaced if all you need is a repair to get several more years of life. 867-0303. Have me on your speed dial for when life's little catastrophes come up. 867-0303. Upgrade your roof to a beautiful Owens Corning Duration architectural shingle with a 50-year warranty and an unheard of 25-year labor guarantee. I'll measure your roof from outer space and give you a competitive estimate right over the phone. Buy now and pay nothing till 2022 with approved credit. 867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Make your day smoking with the Big Green Egg. You can smoke, bake, roast, sear, and grill, all with a lifetime warranty. Ceramic never rusts, and the easy, accurate temperature control gives you the greatest range of any grill. Make your next grill your last with the Big Green Egg. Available at these nearby locations: Hamilton Fireplace Shop, 4462 Summer Avenue; Germantown Hardware Company, 2083 South Germantown Road; Garden Spas and Pool, 9393 Poplar Avenue; and East Memphis Ace Hardware, 5143 Quince Road.
If you've always thought, hey, I'd look pretty good in Lexus, well, guess what? Lexus thinks so too. Lexus is offering you the Golden Opportunity Sales Event. Great offers on all 2020 models and special lease options. Drive in luxury and confidence, knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Stop by Lexus of Memphis, 2600 Ridgeway, and put yourself in the driver's seat of an all-new 2020 flagship LS500. Hey, you look pretty good there. Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event at Lexus of Memphis. Experience amazing.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM, 96.1, and 87.7 FM, as well as online around the world at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere on your phone or tablet by downloading the Sports 56 app, and at home, tell Alexa or Google to play Sports 56. If it's happening in the world of sports, we've got it covered. Wherever you are, stay tuned to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7. Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hurt. This hour is brought to you by Acura Memphis. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
She's wondering what clothes to wear. She puts on her makeup and brushes her long blonde.
I feel like we get a lot. This was one of our more popular requests that's out there. I feel like we.
What is it?
You're about to find out. Oh. Just listen to this line and it'll tell you. That's what it is.
I say yes.
And then you keep talking.
Oh, okay.
You look wonderful tonight. Wonderful Tonight by Eric Clapton here on Soft Rock Tuesday. Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1. Now, coming up tonight.
87 what?
Tonight, right here on these very airwaves, 5:30 will be the broadcast beginning. Ole Miss, Mississippi.